Thanks anyways. Bye.
The longest-running program in sports television salutes the NHL's 75th season as two great traditions continue.
CBC Sports is proud to present Molson Hockey Night in Canada.
Hockey's golden era and the steel wheels. For half a century, NHLers moved from game to game by train. Yesterday at Toronto's Union Station, the transportation of choice for 50 years welcomed the 1991-92 edition of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
This is how they dress every day, eh, Alex? In Russian?
The style of a bygone day seemed to suit some more than others, with Tom Watt, Wendell Clark, and Mike Foligno garnering high fashion praise. The trip was an NHL concept to promote tonight's entry party. It surely put today's players in touch with their game's past, and for obvious reasons meant even more to the former NHLers who were invited along.
It was kind of a social event, and I think that had a lot to do with the closeness of the hockey teams in those days, and today.
Et maintenant, l'édition 91-92 de beaux Canadiens de Montréal. Tout d'abord, nous voulons vous présenter les joueurs qui ne seront pas de l'alignement ce soir. First, the players that are not dressed for tonight's game. Le numéro 3, number 3, Sylvain Lefebvre. Le numéro 27, Shane Thorson. Le numéro 32, number 32, Mario Roberts. Le numéro 34, number 34, Donald Dufresne. Le numéro 1, Roland Melançon. Le numéro 5, number 5, Alain Gauthier. Le numéro 6, number 6, Rock Fortnall. Le numéro 8, number 8, Matthew Schneider. Le numéro 11, number 11, Curler. Le numéro 12, number 12, Mike Keane. Le numéro 17, number 17, John Leclerc. Le numéro 18, number 18, Denis Savard. Le numéro 20, number 20, Sylvain Turgeon. Le numéro 21, number 21, le capitaine Guy Carbonneau. Le numéro 24, number 24, Lyle Odeland. 25, number 25, Peter Svoboda. numéro 28, number 28, Éric Desjardins. Le numéro 33, number 33, Patrick Roy. Le numéro 35, number 35, Mike McPhee. Le numéro 36, number 36, Todd Ewan. Le numéro 39, number 39, Brian Strudland. Le numéro 41, number 41, Brent Gilchrist. Le numéro 47, number 47, Stéphane. Le numéro 46, number 48, Jean-Jacques Daigneault. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Monsieur Pat Burns. Les entraîneurs adjoints, M. Jacques Laperrière et M. Charles Thibault. Et l'entraîneur défensif, M. François Allaire. Le gérant d'équipement, M. Denis Pascal. Son adjoint, M. Pierre Gervais. Le thérapeute athlétique, M. Gaëtan Lepère. Et l'adjoint au soigneur, M. John Shipman. We will now allow the teams to go to their benches, please. To commemorate the 75th...
Well, I think Pat Burns may have fooled Tom Watt when he comes out dressed in the old-time style, as we see Claude Mouton about to introduce the old-time players who are here.
Historic evening.
And Dick, speaking of the old-time players who are here, this started 2 or 3 hours ago with a great dinner here in Montreal.
Yeah, Steve Shutt was there. Steve's going to be introduced, our co-frere on Hockey Night in Canada. And he told me there was just a tremendous, tremendous atmosphere of nostalgia.
Back now to center ice, Claude Mouton.
Il me suffit d'appeler. Let me remind you that amongst the all-time Canadians that we have here tonight, individual trophies won by the former Canadians are as follows. Les anciens trophées. Les trophées, c'est-à-dire gagnés par nos anciens joueurs. Vous allez voir sur la glace 181 Coupes Stanley, 5 trophées Hart, 5 trophées Hart Ross, 2 trophées Calder, 1 trophée Norris et 3 Conn Smythe. First, we are pleased to have with us tonight 3 former Toronto Maple Leaf stars. The first one has played with the Leafs, has also played with the Montreal Canadiens. Let's welcome Dick Duff. Another forward with the Maple Leafs, Winger Ross. A great star with the Leafs. Nobody will forget the winning goal in '72 in the Soviet Union, scored by Paul Anderson. And the next one, centerman Billy Harris. Nous avons plus de 40 anciens joueurs à vous présenter et avons pensé vous les présenter par décennies. From 1940 to 1950, they played with the Canadiens. We have with us Jean-Claude Todd Campo. Robert Bob Fillon. Léo Gravel. Le grand joueur de centre, Kenny Mostel. Howard Rip Riopel. Et ancien membre de la ligne Razzle Dazzle, M. Pete Morin. Des années 1950 à 1960, from 1950 to 1960, Marcel Bonin. Floyd Busher Curry. Phil Goyette. Jean-Guy Talbot. Le gardien de but, Jerry McNeil. Jerry Plamondon. Dollars Saint-Laurent. André Pronovo. Now let's go to 1960 to 1970. Le joueur de défense, Jean Gauthier. Le gardien de but, Charlie Hodge. Albert Junior Landois, un défenseur. Gilles Tremblay, maintenant à la télévision. Léon Rochefort. Robert Bob Rousseau. And nobody will ever forget number 22, John Ferguson.
Somebody threw powder on Fergie's back, which he was new to his teammates, and they had that set up, and they nailed him just before he came out on the ice.
And I noticed the guy that did it's now running down St. Catherine Street, trying to save his life.
Years 1970 to 1980. We even managed to find the general manager, Mr. Irving Rudman. Le gardien de but, Michel Bonny Larocque. Le gardien de but, Richard Sévigny. Steve Penny. Le défenseur Gilles Lupien. Winger Murray Wilson. Centerman Pierre Maudou. Le défenseur Pierre Butch Bouchard. Un membre du Big Three, Guy Lapointe. Left winger, Steve Schutt.
I think Reggie Hull was the guilty party here.
He said he got
Les
it.
trois suivants formèrent à leur début une ligne d'attaque. On a la ligne au complet. A full line with the Canadians in their days. Régent Hull.
I know Scotty Bowman's sitting, getting ready for the big opener tomorrow as the new coach of Pittsburgh, watching with sheer delight of some of his former teammates be introduced here at the Forum.
Et Mario Tremblay.
Not a bad group of hockey players.
None of these guys are in the Hall of Fame. They're saving them for later days.
More to come.
Nous voulons accorder une présentation spéciale à nos anciens Canadiens qui sont membres du Temple de la renommée du hockey. A special tribute to our former Canadians, members of the Hockey Hall of Fame. I would love to start with the general manager who has been elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame, Mr. Sam Pollock.
Look at the number of guys out there that Sam traded or traded.
Émile Butch Bouchard.
Yeah, there's a father and son combination out here right now. Pierre and his father, Big Butch.
Ancien joueur de défense, Kenny Reardon.
Don Cherry's boyhood hero.
He still looks tough to me, Mr. Reardon.
Goaltender Lorne Worsley.
Jumper, a favorite everywhere.
We'll see if the Riche fans are in the audience when they introduce this guy,
Le joueur de centre, Jacques Lemaire. Défenseur, Jacques Lapierrière. Dickie Moore, l'ancien de retour.
There was my favorite, Dickie Moore. They've got the tape on his shoe.
Yvan Cournoyer.
Looks all right, doesn't he, the Jet?
Bernard Boum Boum Geoffrion.
Talk to him today, as happy as ever, probably happier.
In from Atlanta, Georgia.
11 Coupe Stanley, Henri Richard.
Stand by.
11 Stanley Cups. We'll never see a guy do that again.
No, don't think so.
Dernier et non le moindre, l'ancien capitaine des Canadiens, maintenant vice-président de l'équipe, Jean Béliveau.
They mentioned the Canadiens when we talked about class. This guy shows it all. Jean Béliveau.
40 years ago yesterday, Jean Béliveau signed his first contract with the Montreal Canadiens.
À l'histoire de la Ligue. And now, the official face-off of tonight's game, which will surely go on in history. We have invited 6 young rookies to join our lineup. This first one, 73 years old, was with the Montreal Canadiens from 1940 to 1945. 3 Stanley Cups, winner of the Art and Ross Trophy, center of the famous Blake Lack Richard, centerman, Mr. Elmer Locke.
Now we're talking about some dad's players.
Elmer was my first hero when I switched my allegiance to the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, you picked a good one.
Il a évolué de 1937 à 1943. Il effectue un retour au Forum après de longues années d'absence. Maintenant âgé de 74 ans, anciennement de Chambly, Québec, M. Tony Demers.
In his time, Harry had the hardest shot in hockey.
A 77-year-old player from 1939 to 1945, winner of 1 Stanley Cup, forward Ray Getliffe.
Ray is 77 years old. He shoots better than that on the golf course still. and former president of the Royal Canadian Golf Association.
A complete athlete who has been outstanding in track and field, football, and as a defenseman with Montreal from 1933 to 1943, now 79 years old, Mr. Jack Portland.
It was marvelous.
Met him last year here, fellas, and just a tremendous man, and in his day was the largest player in the NHL.
Et maintenant, j'inviterai au centre de la patinoire une surprise, une invitée spéciale. Comme vous le savez, le club de hockey canadien a été fondé en 1909 et 1910 par l'honorable sénateur J. O'Brien et son fils Ambrose. As you know, the founders of the Montreal Canadiens were the Honorable Senator J. O'Brien and his son Ambrose in 1909 and 19. In attendance tonight, we have the grandchild of Senator O'Brien, and we would like to ask her to please come to center ice to accompany the oldest Leaf player still alive and well with us. He's 91 years old, le plus âgé à jamais avoir porté l'uniforme des Leafs de Toronto, 91 ans, Mr. Frank Finnegan, accompanied by Mrs. Margaret O'Brien Reedsa.
They made the train ride yesterday to get here.
He sat right behind me, and I don't think anybody enjoyed that train ride as much as Mr. Finnegan did.
Now they're going to stand up here in the corner, I'm sure. What a fine gentleman.
I'd give a lot of money to watch him come out in a uniform with number 9 on it, cut in off the wrong wing like he did better than anybody I know.
Look at the players. The players are on their feet. He hasn't scored a goal for 31 years. He still gets a standing O.
Le capitaine Guy Carbonneau and the Leafs captain for the official face-off.
I hate to say this, Bob, but it's too bad the game's going to start. And we can't enjoy more of this.
Mr. Finnegan, Mr. Richard. J'inviterai maintenant Maurice Richard à vous dévoiler la bannière du 75e anniversaire de la Ligue nationale. I would like to ask Mr. Richard to unveil the NHL 75th anniversary banner.
One notable absentee tonight is Guy Lafleur, and some of the fans would love to see him added to this collection of great Montreal Canadiens.
Voulez-vous maintenant, mesdames et messieurs, vous lever et vous joindre à M. André Wallet, accompagné de la Philharmonique des Pompiers de Montréal, sous la direction de M. Roger Pelletier, pour l'interprétation de notre hymne national. Now rise, ladies and gentlemen, for the national anthem, which will be sung by Mr. André Wallet, accompanied by the Montreal Firemen Philharmonic Orchestra.
kisses and a few tears for 75 years. Up next, nationwide, Patrick Roy versus Grant Fuhr, Wendell Clark, Kurt Muller, and a whole lot more. It's the 1991-92 season premiere between the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs as we kick off our 40th season of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC from the Forum in Montreal.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC is brought to you by Molson Canadiens, what beer's all about. By Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment, quality is job one. And by Esso Associates and Imperial Oil. You're on your way with Esso.
Gotta chase your dreams. Gonna take a chance. Your friends will see you through. Working together, making the dream come true. Well, there's nothing halfway about it. Excess it all.
Happy Motoring Canada. At Esso, we know that a successful station is built on service. And it's still true today. Our people are specially trained. And we use independent customer surveys to help set our high standards of service. So if you think great service is a thing of the past, you should come into Esso and let us help you on your way.
What do you think people are saying about the 1992 Escort?
I don't know.
One thing I can guarantee right now, if there were an award for most improved car, the Escort would take it, hands down.
One has to hope that the Ford Motor Company hasn't outsmarted itself and built a car too good to be appreciated. The 1992 Escort. The results of positive thinking.
Yes.
Welcome back to Montreal. This was the ceremonial scene moments ago at Boston Garden. Fittingly, on a night when we're back to the future, Michael J. Fox unveils the 75th anniversary game. The Rangers and Bruins are underway. No score there. We're set for the Leafs and the Canadiens here at the Forum. Let's go upstairs. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Ron, and once again, good evening, everybody. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs, along with the Canadiens, had some new guys.
Sure do. Here is the Leaf 6 defensemen that will play, not necessarily paired up that way for the whole evening. And the forwards for the Leafs, 12 of them. And you can see that Tom Watt is starting with those four as lines. We wonder whether he'll finish with them. And those players not playing tonight, Curtis Hunt has got a bad elbow, Anderson suspended. The other three are just not in the lineup.
Well, as far as the Canadiens are concerned, there really isn't much in the way of new names, save for one. And this is a young defense, basically, Harry, that I remember you said a year ago the fans will love in a few seasons. And the forward line, you see Kurt Muller. That is the big change, of course, in Montreal, with the trade sending Stéphane Richer. And Shane Corson not in the lineup. He's going to miss the first 4 games with suspension, and the others are just extra players. And we get our first national television look tonight at Grant Fuhr as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Well, Grant Fuhr, in my opinion, is the best goalie in hockey, letting the next goal in when it's a critical goal. And not taking a back seat to Fuhr is Patrick Roy, who may be the best goalie in the league.
Andy Van Helmen is the referee and working on the lines with Andy, Jerry Gauthier, and Bob Hodges.
With the old-time referee sweater. That's great.
The Leafs and the Canadiens. And squaring off in this match, 2 of the best goaltenders in the game today. Grant Fuhr for the Toronto Maple Leafs and Patrick Roy for the Montreal Canadiens.
Imagine these teams left the ice 1 hour ago after their warm-up, and now after the long but interesting and nostalgic opening ceremonies, we're set to go. So I expect this game will take a little while to get any kind of a pace.
Starting for the Leafs, Petit and Todd Gill on the defense. Zezel with Lehman and Clark on the wings. Clark, the 16th captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Cote and Desjardins for the Canadiens. Cardinal, McPhee, the forward line. Clark has the puck for Toronto, and he feeds Lehman, and he's away. Lehman coming up over the line and trying to put the first shot on goal. However, it was deflected off his stick and over the glass.
Pat Burns kept his white sweater on, and as Tom Watt has changed back into a sport coat. Pat coming off, as is Tom. Very successful sojourn as a member of the coaching staff of Team Canada, victorious in the Canada Cup. When Tom walked out with the Toronto sweater, I thought of the first picture I can remember my father, a team picture that I've seen. He had that same sweater on. That was 1931 in Toronto.
Todd Gill hammers the puck in for the Maple Leafs. Cote missed it. It hopped over his stick. Petit slapped it from the blue line, and Clark is after it along with Zezel. Zezel for Toronto into the corner with it. Lehman has bumped to the ice, but Clark is there to pick it up to Zezel, and he's covered. Zezel takes a sweep at it, but he fell on the puck. It rolls into the Canadian zone again. The Leafs are going to make the first changes on the goal as the Canadians come out. Rolled over center by Desjardins. Kushelniski is on the ice. He's number 26 for Toronto, but here's Skrudland. Gets away from one check. Comes to the Leaf line. And Skrudland feeds it off the boards in behind the net. Marois there to cover him. In the corner. Ewan centered it. Kirk Muller. Muller working it out front with a nice pass. It was intercepted just in time. Kushelniski trying to get some room. Broke it up in front of Patrick Waugh. The Canadians move it out. Minute and a half into the first period of this first game of the season. As Marois comes in. No score. Into the corner it goes, and Fergus made short, stayed back of the net. Skrudland lost a chance to move it out. Leafs pressing early. No shots on the nets yet, though. Canadians trying to clear it out. It is Muller. He's wearing number 11 for Montreal. Saying today how happy he is to be here in Montreal. Of course, close to his home in Kingston. And he just loves it so far. They're looking for big things out of this Montreal team. With a few changes, here's a shot by Savard. It doesn't get through. Svoboda kept it in. Hopped over Turgeon's stick out into the center ice area, and Gilchrist feeds it back in. Bob Rouse. Cleared to center. Played in wide of the net. Leafs keep it in. Canadians get it back again, and Gilchrist is away. Savard is up on the play. Gilchrist for Savard. He's back of the net and looking out front to make a play. Centered it. Turgeon had it go over his Desjardins. Stopped one. Fuhr makes his first stop as the Toronto Maple Leafs. Back to the line. Desjardins. Fuhr again. And the play is called. We're getting our first penalty of the season now. It is against Montreal.
Well, as you can see, Goodyear does great tune-ups. And, bulletin coming in here. The Goodyear tire sale is on now. Save up to 35% on selected all-season radial tires. Well, yeah, we have tires, sure, as well as tune-ups. What well-rounded organization doesn't, huh? So remember, Goodyear, we're not just tune-ups. I've completely lost all my credibility, haven't I? Sorry.
First penalty of the season, at least as far as these teams are concerned, goes to Brent Gilchrist. Interference to call at 2:45. And Harry, it could have been a call with Christ in the goal crease. They're going to be very strict on that this year. There was Gilchrist just leaving after making some kind of contact close to Fuhr, and Van Helma makes the call. So the Leafs get a power play chance.
The Leafs power play 16th in the National League last year. 2 years ago, it was 4th.
Go in that crease now, and it could be ruled, and it was there, interfering with a goaltender. They're watching that closely this season. There's the first call by Andy Van Helma. In this game, as Dick pointed out, at any rate, now Leafs on on a power play with 1:40 left on it, and Clark takes over at center. Gives it to Lehman. Lehman to Clark. Over the line with it. Lost it, however, and here's Courtnall. Just got rid of it from center ice. Fjord stepping back from the net. Lehman back. He's turning to come out. Bradley is on with Clark. Clark shoots again. Bradley coming up on the right side. He's 44. Hit the boards against Digno. And now it's back to the line. Ellen takes a drive. It's deflected over the glass and into the crowd. 1:10 left of the penalty and no score.
Well, here's some of the new rules or interpretations which you're going to see in the National League this year. They have new net supports. They're 8 inches high. The nets will stay on a lot longer and survive heavier crashes than they used to. The size of the crease has been increased and the square crease has been taken out. We have a video goal judge in each rink, and the referee can request that he take a look at a controversial goal. They're going to call hitting from behind a lot more strictly, and in a fight, the players have to go to their own benches. Unless the fight's in one of them, then they have to go to their own end zone.
Schneider is number 8 for the Canadiens. He shoots to the length of the ice. 1 minute now left of the Canadiens penalty to Gilchrist. He is serving 2 minutes for interference. He was in the crease in front of Berg. Leafs power play. Petit at the blue line. Elects the pass. Gets it back. Takes the shot. Deflected wide. Zezel back of the net for Toronto. Tried to center it off the boards for Gill. Petit is on the blue line with him, but Gill along the boards with it again. Gets it back. Now to Petit. He slapped it into the big circle to the left of Patrick Waugh. Fergus for Petit, and Fergus again closing in. Fergus to backhand. It's picked away by Waugh. Gill knocked it into the corner. Canadiens can't get it out. 20 seconds left in the power play. Gill shot. Glove down. Rebound. Back to Gill again. And the Canadiens had a chance to clear it. It got by Todd Gill down the ice. Only 5 seconds left on this power play for Toronto. No score. First period. Penalized player is back on. This is Swoboda. Didn't see his man. He put the pass in behind. Swoboda will have to come back. Icing waved off, and he takes over back to the net with Deblois for checking. It's off his skate into the corner on the other 22, waiting for the puck to come to him. Decides to go after team. Knocked to the ice as he tried to clear it out of the zone. Godinuk, number 93, gave it away at center ice to the Canadiens, and they move up. LeBeau going for the net. Keen shot. Fjord save. Bullard takes it. 3 Leafs are on the rush. Coming to center is near the 6-minute mark. And no score of the period. In with a shot from that short side. Bullard, and it was stopped. Swoboda left it back of the net. Leafs are changing as the Canadiens come out of the zone. Play goes harmlessly to center ice. LeBeau stole it though. He goes in, turns back toward the line. A long pass to the other side, and a shot in off of Grant Fuhr. From the blue line, the drive stopped. Zezel takes it. Whipped the pass immediately. Clark tried to go in there and was stopped. Patrick Waugh put it high on the glass, and the Canadiens bring it out to center. Flipped in as LeBeau wants to get off. Nearing the 7-minute mark of the first period, there is no score in the game. 4-2 are the shots in favor of the Maple Leafs at this stage. They've had the only power play so far. Center, McPhee dumped it in. Fuhr out of the net. He took a look and he saw the Canadian player come in. Tried to clear it ahead himself. It's center side of the crease. Fuhr coming to the post quickly. McPhee dropped his man in on the board. First hard hit of the game. Puck in the air and a stick making contact, so they call the play. We have no score in this first period, but 13:20 left.
You are watching history unfold. The Government of Canada has presented proposals for constitutional reform to Parliament. These proposals are now being studied by a special joint parliamentary committee. We invite you to take part in the process. It's your country. It's your right. Call 1-800-561-1188. Shaping Canada's future together.
one of the newest Leafs, Mike Bullard, and he just danced past Odeline in Montreal to get a good chance in the last rush. He had 69 points in 36 games in Europe last year, 64 points in his last year in the National League, 646 points in his 662 career games. He might, if he can get used to the National League again, be a big asset to Toronto. A slick, playmaking center, the puck, to some of those wingers who can score on the Leaf team.
Bradley is 44 on the ice now. Pearson is number 12 for Toronto. Berube is 16, and he's on the left wing. Canadiens have Schneider back on the defense. He tried to clear it to Muller. Muller now flipped it along his own blue line. They get it out into the center ice zone. Muller is moving up on that far right side, but the puck goes to Skrudland on the other wing. Pure step behind the net, and he left it for Elliott. Coming out for Toronto. Lead pass to center, and Bradley and Pearson go in together. Bradley to the corner. He's a noted goal scorer. Put it in front of the net. It goes through the crease. Rouse picks it up. And he was hit. Already got a chance to move it. Schneider was in on top of him. Bradley takes the puck for Toronto. Pearson shot. It's in wide of the goal. Flipped away high and over the boards at the far side into the crowd. With 12:24 left to play in the first period. Shots are 5-2 in favor of Toronto, but there's no score.
What do you think you'd get in a 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz?
I should know this.
Probably a manual transmission. Anything else? A 1992 Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz. Now even more value for the money. The result of positive thinking.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Update action from Boston Garden in the first period. Bob Sweeney, short-handed, steals the puck and beats John Van Beesbrook. Bobby Carpenter's in the box, serving an interference penalty. The Bruins lead the Rangers 1-0 at the Garden.
Thank you, Ron, and he'll keep us posted on those other two games of the original six in action tonight. The opening of the 91-92 season and the 75th year of the National Hockey League. No score in this one. Odeline is number 24 for the Canadiens. On the corner, trying to roll it up along the boards. Can't get it by. Krushelnyski. High shot, and he just missed. And the puck rolls all the way back into the center ice zone. Petit carries back. Michel Petit for the Maple Leafs. Through the crease. Out it comes to the line. Up to center, and Fergus made a quick move, but Marwall was behind him. And that play goes offside with 11:46 left in this first period.
Quite a difference to the start of this season than a year ago for Denny Savard here in Montreal. The atmosphere totally different. It was all Denny last year. When the summer went by, he was hardly ever mentioned on a talk show, Harry, and that wasn't the case a year ago after the trade that brought him here from Chicago. I think right at the beginning, he's going to have his feet a little more firmly on ground, and hopefully he gets a few more points this season.
Did he have a good camp, Dick?
Yes, he came in excellent shape. And again, I think what he enjoyed most about the camp was the spotlight was not on him.
Canadiens won the face-off. Godinuk from center ice, though, slapped it immediately, and Zensel was in there in pursuit. He couldn't pick it up. Here's the speedster, Courtnall, coming to center. McPhee is on the left. Carbonneau shot, kicked out by Fjord. Here's Courtnall drive. He scores! Courtnall scoring the first goal. Canadiens lead 1-0. What a bullet by Fjord.
A long rebound, Harry. There's the first stop, but look at the rebound. Right back out to the rim of the circle almost. And Fuhr didn't see it, I'm sure.
Well, Fuhr made a pretty good stop on Guy Carbonneau's shot here. But a fat rebound came out, and Noberts got to it before Courtnall did, and we all know he can let it go.
So the first goal is in the books at 8:32. Ross Courtnall, Carbonneau, who took the first shot, gets an assist. Desjardins also in on the scoring play for Montreal, and they're leading now 1-0. You're right. Fuhr made a good stop on the Carbonneau drive, and I don't believe he saw the next one by Courtnall. It was a bullet, however. Clark with the puck for Toronto. Slides it in front. Here's Petit with a chance. Hands it off. They're in close, though. Waugh down. Puck loose. Penalty coming up. Patrick Waugh was down. The puck was loose for a few seconds. And now Andy Van Hellemond calls his second penalty of the game, and this one is against the Canadiens. So this penalty comes with 10:52 left in the first period. Nino is in the box.
My staff is very good.
No getting around it. Service is definitely a hands-on business. That is my job, to provide that personal touch.
I think our customers appreciate the good service we give them.
At Esso, we use independent customer surveys to set our high standards of service.
Esso has standards, and I have standards. It's more than a job, really. It's a matter of pride. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
10 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the first period. Canadiens 1, Toronto nothing. Good evening, everybody, from the Forum in Montreal. This is Danny Gallivan with greetings on this anniversary night. Now, play is about to resume. Here is the inimitable Bob Cole.
And nobody can do it like that. Thank you, Danny. It was great to have you back again.
Danny, do you know how many people you thrilled from coast to coast with that brief introduction to a play here at the Forum, including me?
As long as you're thrilled, Harry, I'm happy.
Well, Waugh's happy now. He saw that screen shot come through the skates in front of him. Cleared up on the boards. Canadiens. Dino in the penalty box. The Leafs keep it in on the power play. Rouse is at the line with Fergus. Rouse gives it back to him. Fergus is ready again. Slapped it into the corner. Back it'll come to Rouse. The shot. He missed the net with that drive. Kept in on the far side. Leafs trying to pick it up, but it's going to be cleared by the Canadiens now. They get it out. Here's a break. Strudlin on a breakaway. He has room. Fuhr stopped him. Strudlin had to hurry the shot. Being chased by two Leafs, but he did get it away. And Fuhr stopped him. 1-0. The Canadiens are leading on the Russ Courtnall goal. Daniel of the Canadiens is in the penalty box. 55 seconds left in his penalty. Leafs coming out. Center Clark over the line. The Leafs fans in the building are chanting for a goal here on their power play. Their second of the night. But the Canadiens cleared. 40 seconds remaining. Ellett takes over. Hooked a high one into the corner. Here's Petit in the blue line, and he failed to stop it. 25 seconds left on this power play. Leafs come in again. In front, Bradley, and he had a stick lifted before he could get a shot. He was covered by Swoboda. Canadiens try to move it out. 15 seconds left to kill on the penalty. Daniel is standing up in the penalty box. Come back on. That penalty has been killed. 5 seconds remaining in it. And now Daniel is on the ice as Bullard brings it over the line for Toronto. Two Canadiens trap him at the blue line. 1-0. Montreal is leading on the goal by Courtnall. Carbonneau and Desjardins were in on that scoring play. The tee shot blocked by Waugh. Matthew Schneider decides to bring it out himself as far as center now. Takes a look, and the shot. Fuhr loved it. It was a good, hard shot. But Fuhr, ever alert, made the stop.
Well, Grant Fuhr was 3 feet outside the top of the circular crease. And that stop, which was a good save, was made a lot easier because he had the angle taken right away from the shooter, Schneider. Here's the stop he makes on Strudlin on this short-handed breakaway. No, it isn't always the save. It's when the goalie's good ones make it. That would have made it 2-0 on a short-handed goal. Grant Fuhr comes up with the stop on the goal that could have been a killer for the Leafs.
Would you predict he will win X number of games for this team this year?
5 to 7 games. He'll be the first star and the reason the Leafs won. And that's as much as you can ask any goalie to do. And he'll hold them in a lot of other games to give them a chance to win.
25 left in the first period. Bob Hodges, veteran linesman of the National Hockey League, ready to drop it in between Krushelnyski and LeBeau. LeBeau, 47. There's Krushelnyski bending in. And LeBeau gains control for the Canadiens. Leclerc is 17. He's put off stride, but he fights it off. Now he has to go back to the net looking for it again. Sabetta for Toronto. Can't move it quickly. Canadiens press a little bit now. Rouse comes back to help. Long shot from the blue line, and Pure somehow saw that Schneider shot. Keane was there to keep it in with LeBeau. Krushelnyski bumped by little LeBeau. And Gill hit the back of the net as he tried to pass it out. Keane is in bumping for Montreal. Canadiens continue to press. They're on the puck in the lead zone. LeBeau centered it. Keane is stopped from shooting. 7:40 remaining in the period. Deblois and Sabetta come in for Toronto. Sabetta fanned on it. And the Canadiens cleared it. T, the other side. Montreal changing as the play moves in. Waugh hollering directions to Schneider. He had his back turned, going for the puck, but he picked it up quickly and gave it to Turgeon. Coming in on the line is Savard. Slipped away. Savard shoveled it in front. Gilchrist was covered in front of the... For Savard, right in front, and Gilchrist couldn't hang on to it in front of Grant Fuhr, who reached out with a big stick and knocked it away. Pearson pushed it in for Toronto. Odeline given a ride and corner. Pearson after it. Pearson gets loose, pushed it into the crease, and Waugh covered up. Leafs are on it again, trying to tie this game. 1-0 Montreal, leading on the Cardinal goal. It comes in front of the net. Canadiens a little sluggish, trying to move it away from in front of the net. Odeline bumped his man and knocked him to the ice. 3 Canadiens on this rush. Savard to the blue line, keeps it in, hangs onto it, skates to the corner. He eludes a check thrown by Ellett, but lost the puck. Turgeon, he stopped. He took the body and took him out of the play. A little over 6 minutes remaining period. Carbonneau and Cardinal again. He has the only goal of the game. Cardinal of the Canadiens. Desjardins coming back. 6 minutes left in the first period. Shots are 7-6 in favor of Toronto. Center ice is Carbonneau. McPhee with him. Flying in. McPhee breaks for the net. Fuhr stopped him. Back for Wendell Clark. Clark forced off to the corner. Daniel given a ride by Clark. Puck in front of the net. Cardinal was there. Whipped it pass out immediately. Carbonneau, McPhee, and Cardinal. There's Cardinal. On the back pass. Took the shot. That's blocked by Rouse. The Leafs get it up to center. Wendell Clark on a solo effort now. Comes in. Waits for Lehman. Gave it to him. Zazzle didn't see the pass in front of the net. Clark has it in the corner. Turning away from the Montreal defenseman. Got it into the crease. Back of the net. And then the Canadiens take over. Daniel for Desjardins. 5 minutes left in the period. 1-0 Montreal. The goal coming at 8:32. Carbonneau and Desjardins assisting on Russ Cardinal's first goal of the season. Leafs to center. They've had 2 power plays. They go offside on this play with 4:48 left in the period. Shots are even now at 7 apiece, and there's your score. Canadiens 1-0.
Did you tell the sitter?
Oh, now don't play the music too loud.
There's pop in the fridge. Help yourself.
We shouldn't be too late.
You really got me going. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing.
Sometimes you just gotta get out there. Canadian life. Now you got it down cold.
Bob Cole, Harry Neal, Dick Irvin, Ron McLean, Don Cherry. And so far, Danny Gallivan from the Forum in Montreal, the Canadiens and the Leafs. 1-0 Montreal, 4:48 remaining, the opening period. Pass through center, and Muller was just over center ice and offside.
A little better pace to the game now that everyone on both teams have had at least one or more shifts and they're all sweating. It's a tough start when you sit around for an hour after you've warmed up to get ready for it. If you don't recognize the guy in the chapeau, it's Tom Watt. Told me his players worked very hard at training camp and were pushed very hard by the coaching staff.
Boston and the Rangers, Detroit and Chicago. The other matchups tonight of the original six of the National Hockey League. To center ice, Canadiens, Todd Ewan trying to flip it in. It was stopped. Cleared back out. Kushelniski grabbed his man, turned him around, and there's Schneider. Feeds it back inside his own blue line. And the Canadiens move it up to center. Skrudland, he nearly got in. He covered in time. Cote on there with Schneider at the Montreal blue line. They face Kushelniski coming in. Schneider missed him with a check. Here's Petit's shot. He missed on the short side. Marois to Gill. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. It's into the corner and it bounced all the way over on this side. Kick loose by Fergus. Kushelniski in front. Great save by Marois. Marois was parked in front of the net. Did a job on that one. And now he holds it. Was a big save by Patrick Roy, stopping the Leaf player, this guy, Marois, from close in.
In their quest for maximum barbecue flavor, there appears to be no limit on how far Canadians will go. Now you needn't go far at all, thanks to the all-new McDonald's McRib sandwich. A hefty pure pork patty, chopped onions, and a rich, zesty barbecue sauce you pour on yourself. Topped off with a toasted bun, all for only $2.19, all for just a limited time. The new McDonald's McRib sandwich, maximum barbecue taste without the barbecue.
Daniel Marois celebrating his 23rd birthday today. Of all the players in the National League last year that scored 20 goals, he had the least assist with 9. And there was the chance he had while he made the big stop. The Leafs need Marois to contribute about 35 goals. He only had 1 in the preseason.
Puck is fired from center ice, or just by the blue line, actually, by Shannon as he stopped it. A penalty coming against Montreal. Leafs have had 2 power plays already in the game. And Andy Van Hellemond making a sign now. It is, in fact, a penalty to Toronto. And it's Sameta who's going off, even though Fjord was leaving the net, heading for the bench.
Those goalies will do anything to see if they can get the referee to change his mind on who the penalty was called. Rob Sameta, who played with the Leafs last year to some degree. And here comes the penalty, hitting from behind. It's not a rule change, but it has been pointed out to the officials to call it even more strictly than they did last year. And that was anything but a violent check, but it was from behind, and you're going to serve 2 minutes when you do it.
And that's the message Van Hellemond and the others will get across. Look at that old referee sweater. That reminds me of the great referees. Talk about nostalgia. Bill Chadwick, George Gravel, King Clancy, and my all-time favorite, the old redhead, Red Story. They were orange for a while, too, you know.
Ellen lifts the high one in. Over the net with 3:20 left to play in the first period. Pass hopped away from Cordnell, but LeBeau was on it. Cordnell slipped it back neatly. Svoboda gets ready at the blue line. Slipped it over to the other side. Svoboda waits near the blue line as LeBeau picks it up. Tried to fire it by Ellett. Hit Ellett's stick. LeClaire got it loose for Cordnell. Here's Svoboda moving up. Nearly got trapped. Grabbed his man. Knocked him down. Deblois, he got away with it. Canadiens are on a power play. They're leading 1-0 with 2:45 left in the period. And the Leafs shoot it down to Roy. Svoboda around the net. Bradley comes in to watch him. Run away from Bradley to center with the shot in for the Canadiens. And Fjord loved it. Left it there at the side of the net. LeBeau was on it very quickly, but he was stalled. Here's Svoboda moving up. Hangs onto it, gives it to Cordnell. Cordnell looks back to the blue line, and there's the pass. The shot off the stick of Zezel. Leafs get it out. Cross the line. Svoboda. 2:10 left in the period. Cardinal the other way. It hit Bradley and rolled in front of the net. Bradley is on the puck quickly for Toronto and got it ahead. Zezel is bringing it in. Hangs onto it. Kills a few seconds. Left it there. The Canadiens get it out. 3 of them. 1 man back. And it's played to the side of the goal. Savard centered it, and Muller is tied up in front of the net. Big tip it to the far side. Tried to lift one over Feuer's stick side. Couldn't do it. 1:40 remaining in the period. Long shot down the ice. And the penalty about up. Savannah is standing in the penalty box. And now on the ice for Toronto. They're at full strength again. As Denny Savard gallops in there. Putting on the brakes. Trying to spin back and went off balance. Clark coming for Toronto to center. Clark gets in front of the net. Got the pass and just failed to hang on to it. They get a shot at the Canadiens net. Wall went down on it, smothered it, and it stopped the play. 1:14 left.
If you're looking for a great vacation value, call Marlin Travel and take off on a Carnival cruise. Almost everything's included. All your daytime fun and nighttime entertainments include. All your food's included too. Plus visits to warm tropical ports of call. Even your airfare's included in one affordable price. So see Marlin Travel for a 3, 4, or 7-day fun ship vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
Well, Coach's Corner returns, as does the hockey season, and Cherry's got a dandy tonight, I'm sure.
Did he have a good camp?
Yes, he did. What he told me on the train is what he's going to use. He had a great camp.
Clock winding down in this first period. 1-0, Montreal leading. And it's Carbonneau trying to flip one in front of the goal. It is cleared by the Leafs all the way down the ice, and this one is going to be icing with Desjardins back to touch it. And the play. And boy, Lehman took a spill in front of Patrick Waugh, who just got out of the way in time, and you saw Lehman end up in the net.
Well, the net came off, but that's the first time. Now, another interpretation or rule this year is that the clock in the last minute of each period plays down in tenths of seconds. And the reason is that the linesman and the timer and the video replay goal judge can watch the clock and better determine whether the period ends before the goal goes in.
Is there a limit to the argument in the video replay, a time limit?
No, there isn't. No. If they either see what they want to see and looking at the replays that we all see at home, or they can't make a decision. If they can't make a decision, it's no goal.
If it is not conclusive exactly, the referee will say, I have to make the decision, and he does. Positive or negative, whatever. But they give it a shot. Well, our luck, Harry, will have 4.
Each city has 2 video goal judges.
37 seconds left in the period. Schneider from the blue line. High shot is knocked down in front of Feuer. 30 seconds to play in this first period. Cardinal has the only goal. Carbonneau and Desjardins got the assists, and it came at 8:32 when Carbonneau took a shot, and Feuer made a real good stop, but the rebound was out. He did not see Cardinal's shot, and it got by him. 10 seconds left in the period. Gill takes a look up at the clock. A little confused, maybe, and then he shoots it in. 2 seconds to play, and here's the siren at the forum. First period is over. Shots 8-7 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And coming up in the coach's corner, Don Cherry from McLean. The score at the end of the first period. The Montreal Canadiens won, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, no score.
If you own a cat or dog, you should know that by law your pets must receive a rabies vaccination every year, or you could be fined up to $5,000. Rabies is a deadly disease. You could get rabies if you are bitten by an animal with rabies, or if you come in close contact with one. Protect your family. Vaccinate your pet. Do not touch stray or wild animals. Contact your local health unit office or your local veterinarian for more information. Rabies. It's no way for a friend to die.
We're ready. I hope you are. For the biggest fur sale Toronto has ever seen, the gigantic fur sale. We have thousands of luxurious fur coats at unbeatable prices. Prices like this mink and fox for only $5.95 with instant credit, no payment, and no interest until $92. Then there's this little beauty. I can't find the price tag. I know it's here.
Really, what he's trying to say is you'd better hurry down to Toronto's Harbourfront for the biggest fur sale Toronto's ever seen. Don't miss it. I didn't.
Savers Mortgage. Here are the facts. Savers Mortgage can arrange a mortgage on a purchase or refinance, despite your income, credit problems, or bank turndown. Savers Mortgage will provide you with convenient at-home service. Savers Mortgage. Cash in a flash. Savers Mortgage. Fast money despite income, credit, or bank turndown.
Call on Savers Mortgage, 225-1983, 225-1983. The problem solvers.
Before we tune into the ball game, we always drop down to Herbie's for our munchies. Big problem, though. When our wives see these prices, we have to shop for them, too. Come on, guys. 15 minutes for the first pitch.
Lysol Toilet Bowl Cleaner, only $1.99. Diaperine Baby Cloths, $1.50s, or Thick 80s, $2.99 at Herbie's.
You'll never strike out with prices this low. You're a good sport, Herbie. Oh, he's out.
When you get 10% more fresh roasted peanuts, 10% more luscious peanut butter nougat, 10% more smooth creamy caramel, and 10% more rich milk chocolate, you get a whole lot more satisfaction. Snickers 10% bonus bar. Try one now and get ready for more satisfaction.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry is brought to you by Pepsi. It's got what it takes.
Who's next?
Me.
What's this I hear about you drinking Coke in class?
It was Pepsi.
Coke, Pepsi, it makes no difference to me.
The difference is one tastes better.
I like this one.
You chose Pepsi. Hey guys, now's a good time to take off.
The majority of soft drink users tested prefer the taste of Pepsi over Coke Classic.
What's this about you drinking Pepsi?
Thousands of dollars on a new set and beautiful animation for Don's Coach's Corner. We just had a light blow up here 5 seconds ago. What do you got there?
2 thumbs for the Blue Jays. Are they terrific or what? Candy Martinelli
on baseball now?
Go to all the games. I get season seats. Don't tell me that. I don't go to Spain and place like that. I stay with the
Tokyo. World Track and Field. Thank you very much for bringing it up.
Figure that one out.
You think that Don always wears these double-breasted pinstripe suits? I have news for you. After all these years, investigative reporting at its best, here is Don Cherry in the Hockey Night in Canada Baby Blue from early in the 1980s.
I gotta tell you, I tell you what happened there. I don't like that picture. That's a lousy
television.
Picture.
You can't get rid of it.
Get rid of that picture. What happened there? I don't care. What happened there? That was when I first come from Colorado, and I put it on, and I said, I'm not wearing one of those things. Out. So you see me now, I got thousands of dollars worth of suits, and I'm going to wear that dumb thing.
Blue Eyes, Canada Cup. You want to comment on the way this season really started for hockey fans?
Canada Cup, we could have beat them with our B team. Think of our B team. Mario, Oates, Yzerman, Sakic, Bork, McSorley, Patrick Waugh. Another thing about the Canada Cup, I'm spitting here.
Yes.
Pooh, I'm getting carried away.
You can't wear one of our nice jackets.
Listen, 5 top scorers in the or not Canadian. Canadian, but no Europeans. European team never beat United States, Canada. I've been saying it all along. You're all jumping on. We've always been the best. Our B and C team could have beat them.
Very few visors, though. That's the only bad thing. Congratulations, Team Canada. We have about 2.5 minutes to debate. Sorry, Eric.
2.5 minutes again?
I had to show you in that blue jacket. Eric
Lindros.
That
was a big deal.
I think he should go to Quebec. I think he's holding the NHL ransom. Quebec will never get players they want. I have more to say on the subject, but I don't think it's a noble venture, Eric. Rick, why don't you put Mr. Lindros in Quebec?
Just a minute. First of all, this kid's dynamite. Being as a junkyard dog, can do stuff. Not going to be Gretzky, like I said, or Mario, but he's going to be a Messier and maybe tougher. Let me tell you that. I like Marcel Aubut. I like Pierre Pagé. They're happy. The guy's happy. I like Nordiques. I like Jacques Martin, and I like Dave Chambers. Good, patient guys. Team's coming along good. But are you dumb, letting that kid go back to junior? First of all, he goes back there to have the enthusiasm that he had before in Team Canada. He's a hitter. He's going to let up. And when you let up and you're a hitter, that's when you get hurt. There's a lot of tough gunfighters in OHL. And let me tell you something right now. They'd love to get his notch, the notch on their gun, getting Eric Lindros. Just a minute. So I'm telling you, you're dumb. You should have traded him. He'll have no better value. And what happens if he breaks a leg? Get away from that garbage and all that stuff and everything like that. Get away from it. Trade the guy. You could make the playoffs in this Adams division. You could make the playoffs with Hartford.
But they can win the Stanley Cup with Eric.
Just a minute.
Don't you think they could? And also, it's not their decision.
Now, wait a minute. The kid is good. Just a minute. Just a minute. The kid is good, but he's not good enough for that team.
I think he's good.
Just a minute. Okay, why doesn't Eric go there? Let's just be honest about this. Let's lay the cards on the table. Why is it going there? First of all, Joe Sakic, superstar. Do you know, people, how many times have you seen him play? About twice. 100 points. 100 he's had. 2 years in a row. No endorsements. Nothing. Nothing at all. And the things you've said about him down here, he's a racist, muscle-bound Ontario.
About
stuff
Lindros.
like, yeah, about Lindros. Of course I'm talking about Lindros like that. Tearing the fabric of our nations apart. Now look, you don't want to speak English down here. You don't want universities down here English. You don't want signs up. How in the world do you not think an 18-year-old kid from Ontario, and why he doesn't want to come here? He's afraid.
Montreal.
Oh, he said he'd come and play in front. But Ron, did you fall off a turbo truck? The kid knows the last team in the world they trade him to is Montreal in the division and the rival like that. Yeah, I thought you were smarter than that. The kid's smarter than you. Trade the kid, get on with it, make the playoffs. You're dumb holding the kid in junior hockey. Stupid, stupid play. Get him, get Robitaille. Well, Robitaille said he wouldn't come here either. So the French don't want to come and the English don't want to come. The only thing left is the Swedes. Trade the kid, get him out of junior, and get on and make the playoffs.
Never mind the Big Apple, carrots, money or otherwise, and I didn't fall off a turnip truck. I still say Eric ought to go to Quebec, and that's done. He'll be back in the second intermission with a new feature, can't wait, called Cherry's Choice.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry is brought to you by Pepsi. It's got what it takes.
All this double talk about GST and higher taxes.
Tell them about
inflation going sky high. But is anyone doing anything?
Tell them about Herbie.
We need lower prices, but nobody listens.
Herbie does.
Here's a clean value from Herbie's. Halsa shampoo or conditioner. Bonus pack only $1.99 with coupon. At Herbie's.
Herbie's is the lowest prices in town.
That's what I've been trying to tell her.
Yeah, Topps office products. Listen, I just started a new business and I need a few things. Do you have used office furniture? You do. What about leasing office equipment? You do. Now, can a new business start an account with you? Large or small, you help them all. And your prices are competitive. Great. I just have one problem. I need this stuff as soon as possible. You guys really are Topps.
In business product, we're Topps.
Street Legal.
This is fraud. How much?
Olivia takes the heat.
200,000.
While Gary's announcement
Dylan asked me to marry him, and I've said yes. I knew it.
gets a cool reception. Friday at a new time.
From coast to coast, it's Hockey Night in Canada.
Boy, that was the absolute highlight of your week, and it was a time where the chores were done early and supper was done early, and if it wasn't done, we watched it in front of the black and white TV that had a lot of snow blowing through it, it seemed like.
You'll want to finish dinner but have snacks ready on Saturday night at Twin Bill, first from Toronto, Montreal, then from San Francisco, the first ever home game for the San Jose Sharks. Of Canada presents a celebration of hockey's history. Tonight, 75 years of stewardship by a highly acclaimed quartet, from Frank Calder to John Ziegler, in 30 seconds.
What do you think you'd find in the 92 Escort GT?
A chartered accountant.
Pedestrian. Family car.
Ever been behind the wheel of the 92 Escort GT?
No. Oh, good. Okay, I'm not alone.
The 1992 Escort GT. The results of positive thinking.
I think I could handle that.
When the NHL set its course in 1917, it appointed Frank Calder to establish control and serve as its first president. For over 20 years, the former school teacher did just that and fathered the loop until his death in February of 1943. Red Dutton succeeded the NHL president and looked for a successor. 2 years later, Dutton handed the reins to Clarence Campbell, a former referee who'd navigate the next 31 years. Campbell oversaw the game's greatest expansion, both on and off the ice. In 1977, he retired and turned the job over to Michigan native John Ziegler. This moment of hockey history is brought to you by Ford of Canada, where quality's more than a commitment. Quality is job one. Russ Courtnall has the goal. It's the Canadiens 1 and the Leafs no score at the end of a period of play here at the Forum in Montreal. This is obviously a special evening. There have been a lot of fun moments already, but one sad note as we move along tonight. We lost a very dear friend a month ago. Bob Goldham, at the age of 69, succumbed to a stroke. Bob spent 12 seasons in the NHL with Detroit, Chicago, Toronto. He won a Stanley Cup with the Leafs in 1947. He won 2 Stanley Cups with the Red Wings, with their powerful teams in the early 1950s. A rugged defenseman who is known as one of the first to become expert at blocking. And in the 80s, Bob was an expert analyst with Hockey Night in Canada. One great thing about a big heart, it provides ample portions of courage and of kindness. And of all the people you could speak to at Hockey Night in Canada, we'd all agree on one thing. You'd never find anyone with a larger heart than Goldie.
Top Gun hockey video. Only $9.95. And only at Midas. Nobody tops the Top Guns.
Nobody?
Happy motoring, Canada. At Esso, we have a tradition of good service. We try hard to get you on your way.
Today, you can even serve yourself. And at Esso, we're still here to help.
We do little things like make sure the pump is ready when you are, keeping paper towels, clean water, and squeegees on hand, and even a warm smile to help you on your way.
Full serve or self-serve. At Esso, good service stands the test of time.
We're actually in pretty good shape, but I keep thinking there's something else we could be doing. We've got my pension, your RSP, our savings. You think that's going to be enough to retire? You know, Maybe we need advice from someone who does this for a living. I guess the next question is, who do we talk to?
Unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Soloflex. 32 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance, all on a simple machine that fits in the corner of your home. For a free brochure, call anytime. Special Dry, brewed longer with no aftertaste. The evolution of beer.
And the period just underway with Waugh stopping one. He didn't have to stop the second. It went off Desjardins. Patrick Waugh with a nice save on that shot from 30 feet. 1-0, Montreal leading the Toronto Maple Leafs. The teams are at full strength as we start the second period. And here's Wendell Clark again, starting Zazzle. That pass intercepted at the Montreal blue line by Desjardins.
The only scoring play of the hockey game so far at 8:32 of the first period. Russ Courtnall from Guy Carbonneau and Eric Desjardins. The Leafs outshot the Canadiens. There were 3 minor penalties called by Andy Van Helleman, 2 to Montreal.
Mild-mannered game, not a lot of takeouts, and certainly no animosity showing up so far, but we got 2 full periods almost to go. Surely, Dick, someone's going to get mad at someone else and improve this game.
So that's because people like Art and the Rocket were in the pregame ceremonies in civvies here.
That's right.
Fergie. Yeah, Fergie.
Odeline is 24 for Montreal. Pass to Svoboda. Savard from center shoots it into the right of the Leaf net. Turgeon, number 20, is on it for Montreal, but Ellen takes over for Toronto. Got it up to Fergus. His nice pass in through center, but Krushelnyski made a move at the blue line, and Marois was speeding to the net offside.
This portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC was brought to you by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one.
We have seen Patrick Roy make a couple of pretty good stops here tonight, and anybody who saw him play in the preseason noticed that he was very sharp. And Harry, he was not sharp in the playoffs last year. A little sharper, and they might have beaten Boston. You can't say that it wasn't his fault, but he had an injury plague here. He has had an excellent start training camp-wise so far.
Talked to him this morning, and that's exactly what he was saying. Hoping that this year the Canadiens would be relatively injury-free. He was reluctant to use his injury last year in the playoffs as an excuse, though. Very modest young man, a great goaltender. But he claims he's in the best shape ever right now. Patrick Roy. Grant Fuhr, same way. He's going to be tested by Gilchrist, maybe. But Gilchrist had to pass it. He was in too far to take a shot. Fuhr dumped it off to the corner. Savard overskates it in the zone. Gilchrist got away from Fergus, but not Ellett. And Ellett moved it ahead, got it out. Center, tipped back into his own zone by Matthew Schneider. 1-0 Montreal, coming up to the 2-minute mark of the second period. And the Canadiens. Bradley turns back. Bradley, a good skater, has to back up again to help Petit. Petit on his own, got to center. Bradley is up there with him. Petit gets in, can't get a shot. He held on to it just a little too long, and it was knocked off his stick. Leafs keep it in, though. Pass goes to Berube. He falls to one knee, and the puck comes back down the ice. Shannon tried to take Muller out of the play. Not an easy chore. Muller one-hands it back of the net. He can't make a play, though. Still fights for it. It comes loose, and Strudlin digs it out of the corner. Strudlin turns. Gets away from Bradley. Now slipped it back to Muller. He slapped it back into the corner. It's centered again. Muller missed it. And the Leafs trying to move it out. Get it as far as the line. Schneider hooked it in, and out it comes. 3 of them. Berube comes. He'll drop it back. Bradley going for the net. Can't get a shot. Another lead player ends up in the net, Pearson, and a play is going to be called against Montreal. Here's his shot from the blue line. The Canadiens with the puck, and the penalty is now being called on the Leafs. Will go on the power play. A high sticking penalty. Canadiens lead 1-0. And we'll be right back after this message.
The fabulous Baker's Boys at Baker's Toyota present their fabulous 30th anniversary event. Buy any new 1992 Toyota and they'll cut your first year's payment in half. Like the all-new 92 Camry from just $232.76 per month. This is not a lease. You own the car. With every 92 Toyota, you'll also get the fabulous Baker's Bonus with $289 of value, yours at no extra charge. The fabulous 30th anniversary event at Baker's Toyota, 9144 Yonge Street, Richmond Hill, home of the fabulous Baker's Boys.
Around the NHL this evening, 1-0 here and in Boston, and at the stadium in Chicago, the Hawks are rolling early in their game against Detroit. There's a look at the old-style uniforms worn by Michel Goulet and company. And Michel seems to like the attire. Twice he has beaten Tim Cheveldae, Jimmy Waits in goal in that affair. And in the first period, you see the Wings and the Hawks. That should read 2-0 Chicago. Bob?
3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the period. Leaks in, she scores! Shot from the blue line, deflected in front of Patrick Waugh. And the Leafs on this power play have tied it.
Wendell Clark deflected Dave Ellett's point shot to fool Patrick Waugh. The Leafs got the draw, back to Ellett. Clark got himself in good position right here. Ellett just gets it low and on the net, and you can see Clark fights off the Montreal defenseman in front. Here's a better look right here. Deflected in as J.J. Daniel did not tie up Wendell Clark, although tying up Wendell Clark is not an easy chore.
So the captain ties it for the Maple Leafs. And the time of the goal is 3:15. Ellett and Lehman on the assists. Clark's goal. 1-1 now. Power play goal, Leafs. Another shot missing the Montreal net. Canadiens skate out with it. Keane down the right side. Tried to slip by Ellett, who played the man all the way. And that allows Rouse to move it up to Semeta. Bullard was in there. He's cutting for the net. Bullard shot blocked. Waugh covered that angle. It comes back to Ellett. It's knocked down in front of Patrick Waugh. What a chance for Dave Ellett to give the Leafs the lead. They continue to press. Rouse. That shot deflected, but wide of the goal. Bullard kept it in for Toronto. Semeta knocked it in on the boards. Now centered it right through the crease. And the Canadiens pick it up and get out. Keane up over the line he goes, dropping it back. Flipped in by Leclerc, and Fior's out of the net to give it to Deblois. Deblois to center ice. Leafs move up. They're looking for changes now as Bullard shoots it in. 4.5 minutes gone in the second period. Toronto has tied it. It is now 1-1. Quick pass for Gill. Gill slipped it through center. Not a good pass for Zezel. He couldn't control it. It was in his skates. Gilchrist moves in. Kershaw going for the net. And the high shot a little too high. And it goes into the crowd. 4 minutes, 45 seconds gone in the second. And we're in a tie game, 1-1.
If you loved him in Home Alone and Goodfellas, wait till you catch Pesci as slumlord Louis Christie.
Do you know what kind of droppings those are? Moose droppings.
Sentenced to live in his own building.
How come we clean milkman?
Because I killed the milkman. Joe Pesci.
Ah.
The Super.
Looks like your automobile lost a little weight.
Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere. Check local listings.
In Boston, the Bruins with the big B in the front of their old sweaters lead the Rangers 2-0. And a familiar name up there, Harry, Raymond Cork gets their second goal. It's 2-2 now in Chicago. And the Goulet goals were shown, the two of them for the former Nordic, now a Blackhawk.
Here it has been Cornell in the first period. Clark in the second on a power play goal by the Maple Leafs. Ellett and Lehman assisted in Clark's goal. Carbonneau, Desjardins on the Cornell goal in the first. Shots are 7 and favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. 5 minutes into the second period. 1-1, and Clark is on the ice again. He's testing Patrick Roy with that shot to the short side. Gill kept it in. Nice setup. Lehman. Shot deflected high over the goal, and the Leafs continue to press the Canadiens. They're running around a bit inside the blue line, and they hurry the puck away, but Cardinal is in. Cardinal on a sharp angle, got it in front of the net. Zezel got back in time to knock his man down. However, he's going to get a penalty for hooking, and the Canadiens will have the man advantage when we come back in a game that's tied at 1.
The best rust protection in the business. Over 93% of all Chevy full-size pickups sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. Chevrolet. Trucks you can depend on. Trucks that last.
Welcome back, and we welcome along with us in the broadcast booth at the Forum, the boss man today of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Cliff Fletcher. Cliff, your team looking pretty good in this first game.
Well, I think we started to loosen up a little after we got that first goal, and we started to take it to Montreal from that point on. It's a little bit of a confidence builder.
Right now, you have to kill another penalty. Peter Zezel in the penalty box. The Canadiens with a man advantage. Cardinal got the first goal on the night of the first period to give the Canadiens a 1-0 lead, and Clark tied it up on a lead power play at 3:15 of the second period. Shots are 13-7 favor of Toronto. Savard moving up there quickly. In on with the brakes and to the line. LeBeau has it to Savard. Savard waits, trying to pick a hole in the Leaf box, set up in front of Grant Fuhr, who is poised in the crease in the Leaf net. Seconds tick away as Savard keeps looking. Now sets it up perfectly. Fuhr got a piece of Ellett, who was coming in. And Ellett just went into the corner with the puck, and it was cleared. Canadiens came awfully close. Turgeon in there again with Muller. Around the net, Savard. He showed a lot of patience holding the puck inside the Leaf blue line. Muller now slipped it back to Savard. In front it comes again. Score! The Canadiens get the power play goal. They were in control. They lead again. 2-1.
Somebody took a real shot at Sylvain Turgeon in the scramble right after the puck went. And Kurt Muller jumped into the middle of it. Which I'm sure he will do on more than one occasion in the near future, but the Canadiens have regained the lead.
You got to take a run at Turgeon before he scores the goal. He might be the guy that replaces Richer as the big goal scorer. Pat Burns said he had a great camp. Let's have another look at it. He doesn't take any time, Dick, to get the shot away. When he gets it in, it's right on the money, right here. Off the post and in. Fuhr had no chance. The only thing you could say is Grant was way back in his net. But I don't think he would have stopped it anyway.
Well, Turgeon was a 40-goal-plus man a couple of times in his career in the National Hockey League. He has had an injury plague last couple of seasons, but he gets his first one early this season.
Well, Cliff, would you comment at all on your situation with the Toronto Maple Leafs at the moment?
Harry, tonight's a wonderful night for the National Hockey League and for the Canadiens and Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think it's appropriate to discuss personal situations.
Cliff, you've made some changes this year. Obviously, what's your prognosis for the team?
Well, we have a long way to go, Bob, but hopefully we're going to get a little better with each passing week, and by the end of the year, maybe sneak up on someone and surprise a few clubs and get and earn a playoff spot.
Well, Cliff, there's some good news for you here. In the wake of the Turgeon goal, I mentioned Muller jumped into the middle of everything, and Muller's just received a penalty. So after your team loses to the Canadiens, loses the edge and the tie, now they get a chance on the power play.
Well, there's no doubt we're going to have to improve in our specialty teams this year to be more competitive.
You can't improve in goal, I'll say that.
Yeah, you have one of the best penalty killers in the league, Grant Fuhr, and I'm sure that stat will improve as the year wears on.
Turgeon got the goal from Savard and Muller. Montreal goal. 6:23 was the time, making it 2-1 Canadiens. And the Leafs now with a man advantage. Set up Ellen at the blue line. He got a quick pass away to Bradley. Clark is in front of the net. Ellis shot. Clark scores! Ellis shot. Clark reaching for it. He got a piece of it. And it's a tie game again.
Good. Sounds like there's a lot of Leaf fans in your old hometown of Montreal here tonight. Dave Ellis been a key guy on both your goals tonight.
Well, Dave is one of the good point men in the National Hockey League, and he's going to quarterback our power play. Having him right from the beginning of the year, I think would be a big plus. They're starting to work together on the power play, and hopefully it'll mean results during the year.
Well, it's great to see a defenseman who doesn't wind up and try and score every time from the point. I know your old Al McInnes shoots those wrist shots in, so they're typical. And Mark's a tough guy to tie up, and he tipped it in just like he did goal number 1 for the Leafs.
Time of the goal, 7 minutes. Clark second, Leafs second. Ellis second assist. Bradley also assisted on that goal. And it's 2-2. Todd Ewan trying to pick one up at center ice. Overskates it now inside the Leaf blue line. Knocked down by Muller, but that's offside. Ewan was inside. The puck came out.
Cliff, I noticed that Tom Watt is playing the life out of 4 defensemen, Ellett, Gill, Rouse, and Petit. Are you concerned about the fact that you can't play 4 all year as much as he's playing these 4 tonight?
Well, they used to, Harry, when those fellas that we saw introduced earlier played the game. But we have 2 young defensemen in Shannon and Gudignik, and I think Tom is going to break them in slowly but surely. And 6 or 8 weeks into they'll be playing more of a regular shift.
You're not looking for one to help?
Well, you're always looking to improve your hockey club, but there are no Santa Clauses in this league.
This is Odeline for Montreal. He is being harassed by Krushelnyski. Good check and roll by Krushelnyski. However, the puck was lifted over the glass into the crowd with 12:13 remaining in the second period in a 2-2 tie at the Forum.
Canadians tough guy Lyle Odeline getting a chance to start the season. Last year he came up from Fredericton after the season began. And there's talk that he can play the game as well as be the tough guy along the blue line. With Odeline and Ewan, they're the 2 disturbers that the Canadians have in their lineup.
Well, both Leaf goals show a little bit of a weakness, I think, in the Montreal defense, is they don't take guys out with a lot of authority in their own zone. Odeline being the only one that does.
Robinson, Green, Ludwig, you remember them? That they don't play for this team. That's a big difference.
Chelios, too.
Courtnall and Turgeon, the scorers. As Fergus goes in. Tarn, both goals for the Maple Leafs. Waugh, sharp, and then rush. Marois now gets it back. Popped away from Krushelnyski. And the Canadians move it up ice to Flair. Harassed by Petit, who skated with him and stayed right with him. Flair again. Gave it away at the Leaf blue line. Krushelnyski with Fergus once more. Krushelnyski shot. Waugh, an easy save. And the puck taken by Keane, but he can't move it out. Fergus keeps it into the side of the net. Fergus is in the crease area waiting for a pass. He keeps circling there, but Svoboda goes around the net for Montreal. And the Leafs are changing as Keane comes out. A long shot. Fjord just allowed that one to come right to him and bounce down in front of him. He missed it. At the 9-minute mark of the second period, Gudignik centered it. Canadians pick it off easily. Get it up to Denny Savard. Savard is speeding in there. He's centered one. Leafs don't see it. Now they do. Berube left it and then gets it back. He shoots it from center ice. Schneider picking it up. And that's icing called against Toronto. Little skirmish inside the Canadian blue line.
Well, Cliff, while I break this up, I want to say as a Leaf fan of some years, I hope that you stick around and turn this team into the kind of team you turned Calgary into.
Well, thanks very much, Harry. We're looking forward to the challenge, and believe me, it's great to be in a hockey city that has the tradition that Toronto does.
Talk to you later. Hey, how's business? What are you working on? Expanding my horizons.
Hey,
been trying to reach you. Busy reeling in some big customers?
Sort of.
Paul, haven't seen you for a while. Important meetings?
Very important.
Hi.
Molson Special Dry.
Thanks.
I didn't recognize you in its high.
The evolution of beer.
Hockey night in Canada, an unusual start on a Thursday, but Saturday, the Wings will be at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the first of a doubleheader. Rangers here at the Forum to meet the Canadiens. And then Harry and I with Don and Grapes will be, Ron and Grapes will be off to San Francisco, where Vancouver will meet the Sharks of San Jose. Long shot into Patrick Roy, and he holds it. The Shores playing this season in San Francisco, the Cow Palace.
I was going to ask you fellas, do you know the way to San Jose? But you don't have to go there. Not yet, anyway.
40 miles north of the Cow Palace, and it's an aptly named rink, unless they've improved it a lot since we played a game there about 8 years ago.
In this period, the Leafs are out shooting the Canadiens 9-2. It's been a total Toronto second period. The Leafs have a lot more jump and enthusiasm for the task at hand than the Canadiens have shown here in the second period so far. They're 23 seconds shy of the halfway point.
Well, I don't think there's any question about the fact that the Leafs have much more in the way of positive team chemistry or team feeling than they had at any time last year. They had a successful preseason, and they seem to be carrying it on into the season.
That's Daigneault trying to fight his way to the puck in behind his own net. Desjardins gets it out to Courtnall. He was quickly checked by Clark. Cecil brings it back in for Toronto. He is stopped by Carbonneau. 2-2 is the score. 10 minutes gone in the second period. Canadiens start out. Lifted over the glass again, and the play stopped.
Well, it's nostalgia night on Hockey Night in Canada, as well as here at the Montreal Forum, and Inside Hockey gives us a look back in many ways throughout the intermission, both in our studio and on film. Well, they may try to look old-fashioned with the hats.
That's right.
But the walkie
hey, wait a minute.
It gives it away. Mike Kitchen, the Leafs assistant coach.
And he's talking to Mike Murphy up right to the left of us here in the broadcast booth, who is the new assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and a good addition, I might say. There are 7 new Leaf players, 1 new Leaf general manager, and 1 new assistant coach on the firing line for the Maple Leafs this season.
The Leafs and the Canadiens squaring off again, as they have for so many years, with so many fans. And they're tied here in the second period. Clark has 2 goals, looking for another, going in. He gets in front of the net as Zezel digs it out. Lehman takes it off the boards. Clark is in front. It comes to Gill. Was save, rebound. They all slap at it. The team can't get to it. Yes, he does. Just in time. Great hustle by Petit. Shot by Clark. Point blank shot by Clark. And Patrick Roy turned it back. Clark, lots of time on that one, and he really stepped into it. But Roy had it all the way. This is icing against the Leafs. Shots are now 20-9 in favor of the Leafs.
Every day at Esso, we go to extremes. From desert heat to minus 40. Quality is essential to us. It's a lot of time, and it's a lot of care.
Our gasoline goes through at least 16 different quality control tests. Nothing is left to chance. Quality is too important. From the first test to the last stop.
At Esso, you can count on all of us for the quality of our products.
Well, there's Captain Clark, who's got 2 goals and had a glorious opportunity to get the hat trick right here as he stands all alone. And Patrick Roy, who's got that ability to go down, but not as fast as you think, and those upstairs corners are covered. And Clark found out by hitting him right in the shoulder.
8:58 to second period. 2-2 the score. Oda line. Muir did not see that till the last second. Hit a stick and bounced to his right. Puck lifted in by Svoboda. Ellett bumped back to the net by Savard. Strudlin got it loose. Savard in the corner, missed it. Svoboda moving up. Kirk Muller back of the goal. Muller slides it through the crease. Deblois has it for Toronto. He has Savetta through center with him. Didn't see him in time, and he just shot it in. Oda line, left it back of the net. Svoboda, he's smart defenseman for the Canadiens. Waited for Muller to come back to help him. Now Muller ahead to Savard. To the left wing. That does not work, and it's offside at the Toronto blue line with 8 minutes and 8 seconds left in the second period. 2-2 is the score.
One of the big surprises in Canada certainly was Montreal defenseman Eric Desjardins, who made the team a little bit surprisingly and maybe ran out of gas a bit in the last couple of games of the series, but otherwise was pretty well outstanding. And a lot of people say that's going to mean a lot to him, Harry, as he comes back and gets back into the regular season.
That's true, and do what they did. You ought to come back to your own team that's full of confidence as you could possibly be.
Fergus nearly gave it away at the blue line. Turns out he did. Keane has to take it on the backhand. He had to stop to pick it up. He gets it again. Back of the net, LeBeau, Leclerc in front. They're covered, and it floats out across the blue line to center ice. Keane on the puck. Brings it back in. He has LeBeau going for the net. Here's LeBeau. It is centered, and again, picked up in front. There's a penalty coming up. At the line, Schneider, high shot. It'll be against Toronto. They score! Leclerc gets the goal. Wipe out the penalty, but it'll give the Canadiens a one-goal lead again.
Well, a lot of things happen on goals, Vic, but Tom Fergus had the puck 4 feet inside his own blue line, standing still, tried to deke the Montreal forechecker, and they never got it out again. There's the penalty that was being called on Michel Petit.
Lucky bounce here for the Canadiens, Harry, off the glass. And Leclerc parked at the side of the net. Right place, right time, couple of stabs at it, and it's in the net. Big John Leclerc trying to become the first native-born Vermonter to become a regular in the NHL. He's from just over the border. Used to watch Hockey Night in Canada when he was a kid, he tells me. Led the Canadiens in goals scored in the preseason.
And Shannon, the young defenseman for Toronto, tried to get the puck instead of trying to get Leclerc. He missed the puck. Leclerc didn't. It's 3-2 Canadiens.
Well,
you heard it, 12:31, the time of the goal by Leclerc. Schneider and Cote, the assists on the goal, giving the Canadiens a 3-2 lead. So just over 7 minutes left in the period, and the Canadiens alive now and moving up. In across the line, and Savard digging after it. Godinuk got there first and left it for Pearson. Toronto starting back. Pass to center. Bradley is covered. He has to shoot it in. Gilchrist is all over him. Pearson bumped. Canadiens get 4 players on this rush. It is Schneider leading it. He slapped it in over the line on the boards, and the Leafs shoot it out all the way down the ice. This is going to be icing. This is Desjardins back. Icing called against Toronto.
Well, a lot of things happened on that last goal after Tom Fergus did not get the puck out of the zone just inside his own blue line. You're going to see it right here. Fergus has got the puck, brings it back in, and there, it's beaten. Now, it went another 10 seconds. Wide shot, over the glass, rebounds, but the point is, when you're 3 feet from the blue line, you have to get it over, and there's Mike Kitchen explaining it to somebody there rather graphically. As usual, on a lot of goals, there's 4 or 5 things that go wrong before it goes in the net.
So 6:33 remaining. Period number 2. Canadiens, Cardinal, Turgeon, and now Leclerc The Leaf goals by Wendell Clark. Zessel has to leave, and Clark will come in. Carbonneau for the Canadiens, winning it. Zessel was on it very quickly, though, and he got it out over the line. T coming back. Gill is the defenseman with him for the Maple Leafs. T goes to the right side. Carbonneau forechecking, but Clark gets the pass at center and moves up, gets away from the hit. Clark coming for the net hard, centered it. Gill scores! With a full goal by the Maple Leafs. And again.
And they come right back quickly, Bob, to tie it again. What a night Wendell Clark is having. Harry, the C on the front of that old Toronto jersey agrees with Clark, and he made the play, beating Daigneault along the boards and setting up Gill.
Well, Wendell Clark in each of his 6 seasons in the National League has always scored more goals than assists. But that's a night assist, and Todd Gill looked like a forward who knows what he's doing. He waited and waited, then slid it along the ice to beat Patrick Waugh to the side that he just left. Patrick Waugh down a little early on the play, but Todd Gill making a nice play to get into the spot, take the pass to
Gill intercepted a pass neatly at the Canadian line and nearly had another chance to go in. Look at that scoring play now. 13:48. Gill from Clark and Zessel. 3-3 tie. Moving up is Zessel. He just missed the far post. Rouse kept it in, stopping McPhee. Svoboda given a bump. Clark again. Took a hit, got a shot away somehow. Now Svoboda. Right side for Desjardins. The two defensemen get it up over the Leaf line, but the Canadiens were changing, and the Leafs have a chance to move it out. This is Sameta looking for it on the boards. Skrudland digging in against Allen. Skrudland was there first. Skrudland carried by Allen in on the boards. Canadians are on it though. Muller is stopped. Ewan with Skrudland. He waits, couldn't center it. Ewan again. Muller goes around the net and Allen will go in to bump him. Muller is caught. Hangs onto the puck with his skate, then got a stick on it, fell, tried to sweep it in, had a couple of shots at it, but missed it. Here's Sameta. He left it there. Sameta trying to move on it, got it ahead, and Deblois couldn't cross the line. 3-3 the score. 4:30 left in the second period. Skrudland fires one in. The Canadiens, quick changing now. Michel Petit around the goal. Coming out. Starts to play neatly. But it's stopped through center. Bullard stopped in his tracks. Schneider for the Canadiens. Back up. Nearly got trapped. LeBeau stopped his man. Sameta picked it up at center and shot it in. Schneider back. And now we have 4 minutes remaining in the period. Schneider bumping Marois. Canadiens can't move it out. It is Fergus trying to put it into Marois. He's knocked down. And Patrick Waugh has the puck. And he just hangs on to it with 3 minutes and 54 seconds left in this second period.
Introducing a car that will actually change the road as you know it. A car that will command the road as impressively as it commands your attention. A car that offers you a new vision and design. Performance. Space. Introducing the all-new Toyota Camry for 1992. Camry. It will change the road forever.
Not a bad total in his 7th season. 2 tonight. Wendell Clark, 128.
The only stats you don't like about Wendell is he's missed 177 games in the last 4 years.
And when you think about the number of games that Clark has missed, it's an amazing rush on points for Toronto. He's a feisty player, a captain now, and no doubt he'll make a great leader. Keane takes it to center. Moving up for Montreal. Keane trying to go around the Leaf defenseman. Petit could not. We have 3:15 to play in this period. Desjardins shot. He missed. by 3 feet. Leclerc winds up. Fior saw that all the way. Made the stick save. Canadians continue to forecheck. Stopped by Desjardins, but then Krushelnyski caught him. Coming back is Keane. He got to his own line, put it up through center ice. Keane was on it again for LeBeau, and he brought it in. Svoboda didn't see the pass back, and the Canadians make changes as the Leafs come at him. Gill flipping one from center, bounces wide of the net. That will bring about an icing call against the Toronto Maple Leafs in a 3-3 tie with 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the second period.
The Bruins have gone ahead of the Rangers 4-2. Bobby Carpenter scoring. There were thoughts that his career was over after his knee injury last year, and it's 2-2 in Chicago. The Hawks and the Wings have just begun the second period.
3-3 here. Leafs clearing the puck after the faceoff to the left of Grant Fuhr. Cecil moving to the line. Canadians on it. Passing it around inside their own blue line. Courtnall tipped it to center. Arbano just missed it. Leafs shoot it down again. Another icing coming up. And we're down to 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the period.
People tuning in might say, I thought these teams are going to wear their old-fashioned uniforms. Well, for these two clubs, these are the old-fashioned uniforms. So they have had very little in the way of change as far as their jerseys are concerned. There's a picture in the Texan restaurant across the street from the Forum of the 1931 Montreal Canadiens. That's 60 years ago. And the uniforms that they have on here tonight are exactly the same as was the case then. And the Leafs have really, Harry, had only one major cosmetic change in their uniform over the years, and it really wasn't all that much. The leaf became a little smaller. Bob and I wish they'd worn the old straight socks, though. That would have really set it off.
Like the Buffalo Sabres design, only in blue and white. Of course, when Imlach went to the Sabres, I don't think there's any coincidence. He took the Leaf socks with him.
Wendell Clark is having a flying night for the Maple Leafs. Man, on this shot, though, he had Schneider going inside, and he took to the outside and nearly got in. Courtnall, great speed again by Courtnall. Moving up. Nice pass. Shot. Missed the goal. Arbano going for the glove side. York boots one away. 1:50 left in the period. Canadian trying to take it to the Leafs now, but Clark picked it up and starts Cecil away. Cecil to center. He wants to go off. He shoots it in. Schneider turning in front of Patrick Roy. Minute and a half left in the period. Schneider picks his way up for Cote. He's over the line, trying to go in. He got in close and then trying to hit Savard with a pass. Savard in the corner. Schneider at the blue line. That's stopped by Fuhr. Good low shot that Fuhr saw all the way. 1:10 left in the period. Savard around the net again. Trying to fool the Leaf defenseman. He could not. Cote comes charging in to help. And now the Maple Leafs clear the zone. It is Pearson coming up with Berube in the final minute. It is centered all the way back to the line. 50 seconds to play in the period. Center, Turgeon. Pass in behind Gilchrist. Turgeon in for Savard. Getting loose. Rebound Gilchrist. Penalty coming up against the Maple Leafs. Bradley will wait till the last second. He touches it now. The referee calls the play. And with 35 seconds left in the period, a penalty is called.
Denny Savard gets in just beyond Ellett and Rouse. And one of the two of them both hook Savard off his feet. They're going to give the penalty to Rouse.
Gilchrist with the shot. That could have another wiped out penalty. Grant Fuhrer with a terrific glove save off Gilchrist from very close range on the right side. A good look at the Toronto Maple Leaf crest as it was once upon a time, and this is the first time that young man has ever worn it.
Looks a little better on Fuhrer than it has on some of the Leaf goaltenders in past years.
One of the changes for the Canadiens are one of the go back to the old days type things is the CH on the left arm.
Where are those lace necks?
Yeah,
I used to like those too.
Don't have those. The necks are higher, it seems. Those sweaters.
30 seconds left in the period. Svoboda missed that pass right through his skates. Here's Desjardins leading the rush, 4 of them across the line. He's trying to flip it in front. The Leafs break it up. Cannot clear it out, though. The Canadiens on the power play get it in there. 10 seconds left in the period, and the Leafs will kill it off by shooting it down the ice. And in a 3-3 tie this second period. Just about over. There's the siren ending period number 2 at the Montreal Forum. The shot's over 2 periods now in favor of the Maple Leafs, 21-14. We take a look back at Hockey Night in Canada. Stand by to meet Ward Cornell again. Score of the end of the second. Toronto 3, Canadiens 3.
Catch this, dudes. Like, we're talking major money here. Ma used to slip me $10 a week allowance. Then one day, she shopped Herbie's. Saved so much money, she tells me, Stevie, I'm giving you a raise. Awesome.
Tame shampoo, conditioner, or hairspray for only $1.49. Gillette Foamy Shave Cream, $1.99. Or Sensor Blades, $2.99.
Now that I'm in an upper income bracket, I can enjoy the finer things in life. Thanks, Herb.
We're ready. I hope you are. For the biggest fur sale Toronto has ever seen, the gigantic fur sale. We have thousands of luxurious fur coats at unbeatable prices. Prices like this mink and fox for only $5.95 with instant credit, no payments, and no interest until 1992. Then there's this little beauty. I can't find the price tag. I know it's here.
Really, what he's trying to say is you'd better hurry down to Toronto's Harbourfront for the biggest fur sale Toronto's ever seen. Don't miss it. I didn't.
Sabres Mortgage. Here are the facts. Sabres Mortgage can arrange a mortgage on a purchase or refinance, despite your income, credit problems, or bank turndown. Sabres Mortgage will provide you with convenient at-home service. Sabres Mortgage. Cash in a flash. Sabres Mortgage. Fast money, despite income, credit, or bank turndown.
Call on Sabres Mortgage. 225-1983. 225-1983. The problem solvers.
I know something about McCain Superfries that you don't know. Yeah, what? They're low in Saturday fat. I know something you don't know, McCain Superfries. Yeah, what's that? The Crystal Free. I know something about McCain Superfries that neither of you know. What's that? I just ate the last one.
Oven-baked McCain Superfries. Low in saturated fats, cholesterol-free, and loaded with taste.
Original 6 nights, 6 goals so far. The Hot Stove League, what a popular segment on Hockey Night in Canada for years. Wes McKnight, Elmer Ferguson. 3-3 here, the Leafs and the Canadiens at the end of 2 periods of play. And this is the time in the program set aside for the player interview. As you can see, for now, the chair is empty this evening. From 1959 to 1971, the player interview was compliments of Ward Cornell.
Well, one of the big hockey stories of this year, of course, he's always a story, but particularly so this year for a lot of reasons, one being that he's now not only Stan the man, but Stan the gentleman. Nice to have Stan Mikita with us. And how did all this happen, Stan, the new Stan Mikita?
Well, Ward, I'd have to say it came by accident.
You mean you didn't sort of see a sunrise or something and get all moved?
No, I didn't.
Explain it again. How did it happen?
Well, the puck ended up in Henry's legs, and Henry slid right into the net with the puck. That was a very, I'd have to say, we're very fortunate to score a goal like that, but...
well, they all count. They all bring the Stanley Cup. Well,
Fort Canal game. Oh, all across Canada, we're finishing up a very exciting week of minor hockey. And our two guests tonight, our first two guests, are a couple of gentlemen who played a little bit of minor hockey, and now they're in Junior A. You've read a great deal about them if you haven't seen them. Bobby Orr is with Oshawa on my immediate left, Wayne Carlton with the Marlboros on Mike far left. You still, of course, want to play your 20 years at least. And there was some talk that you thought you might eventually wind up as a defenseman. Now, tonight you played right wing and center. Do you think you'd ever be a defenseman?
No, I got a lot to learn. But I played in practice at home, and like I say, I got so much to learn. But I get alongside a fellow like Barkley or Marcel or the rest of the boys, and when they're coming down, they say stagger. They tell me exactly how to play. They're saving me shortcuts, and if I can prolong my career, I will.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's our great pleasure to welcome Ward Cornell. Ward, tonight in the opening ceremony, I'm sure you interviewed 80% of the men we saw.
Just about everybody that was there from the 50s, the late 50s, and through to the mid-70s almost.
How did you prepare for player interviews?
Well, we were very lucky. We had a room next to the studio, and it was always standard procedure that the players, when they got to the gardens, or here in the Forum, when we did them in the Forum, they'd come early, and I'd sort of meet with them, and we'd just have an informal chat. And I would ask them the questions that I was thinking of asking them, and then if anything came out of the conversation, then I'd add that into the interview, and that was the way it worked.
People often ask me, who's your favorite player to interview, or what's your most memorable highlight of interviewing? Can you think of one?
Well, I would not answer the question, but I will say that the best interviews were always the ones in which you, I'm sure you know this, were prepared yourself, and you had a chance to think the questions through and make them concise and succinct so that you got answers. They didn't have to wind up saying yup or nope. And those were the good ones. But I thought of it tonight when I saw Gump Worsley out there. The funniest interview we ever did, and I don't think they've been able to find it in the files, was the week after the trade to when
New York?
Montreal? Yeah. And the Gump was on, and with Eddie Shack, and it was a very funny interview.
Ward, I really wish we had more time. You know,
I've got one question for you, though. That's very. Isn't there anything that you can do to help Don Cherry over his shyness? He's so reticent about saying what he thinks, and I just was wondering if there's anything you could do on that.
His dad taught him humility, Ward, and I've never had a chance to take it up with Delbert, but I wish I had that opportunity.
Great fun being here. Thank you very much.
The honor's ours, believe me. Ward Cornell, host of Hockey Night in Canada from 1959 to 1971. Speaking of your favorite and mine, he'll be back momentarily with a new segment on Hockey Night in Canada called Cherry's Choice. As well, we'll look ahead by looking back to the grand history of the Leafs versus the Canadiens. Live from the Forum in Montreal, this is Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Fathers are funny. The older they get, the more they mellow. They laugh about the things they once argued about. Fathers have a way of reminding you of the good times you had together when you were little. They never come right out and tell you they love you, but you know they do. And if you ever need them, they'll be there. Because when all is said and done, they are fathers.
Fathers. That's what Bell Long Distance is for.
She'll be here, Cody.
Hi, Mr. Harding. It's Meals on Wheels.
Hi, Jackie. Come on in.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Now, Cody, don't you look at me like that. This isn't for you.
I've just finished fixing your mom's clock.
Oh, Mr. Harding, she's going to be so happy.
My pleasure. Now, what do you got for me today?
Something very special. You'll see. Now, listen, I got to run, but I want you to enjoy this while it's still hot.
Oh, I will.
I can't thank you enough for fixing the clock. See you tomorrow.
Bye. And what's this, Cody?
Happy birthday to a special friend. Love for the grade 2 class.
Mr. Harding enjoys the benefits of the Meals on Wheels program. Lottery funding is just one way this program has received financial support.
Molson Canadian presents Cherry's Choice.
Yeah. Hey, folks, we got something for the second period for you. A little Cherry's Choice here. I'm going to show you something that could have been 10 years ago, a year ago last week, but it was in the playoffs last year. Remember Frank Pietrangelo winning the Stanley Cup coming in the 5th game? Well, he's ready. Watch him. He's getting ready right now. Little stretch now. Think about it, folks. He hasn't played in a month. Has not played in a month. Now, these shots came within a space of about 2 minutes. In slow motion, bang. Watch this one, fix it right up. We've got a save coming up, maybe save here. Watch this. Whoa! That could have been the Stanley Cup right there. Way to go, Frank boy. My buddy, watch this one now. Blocks it to the side, pick it up, rebound. There's the Stanley Cup, folks. There it is, as far as I'm concerned right there. And that's it from Cherry's Choice. See you Saturday.
Toronto and Montreal. For 7 decades, hockey's premier confrontation. The rivalry began in the league's inaugural season. The Toronto Arenas defeated the Canadiens for the first NHL title. While the Arenas later became Stanley Cup champions, the Canadiens were able to keep the matchup an integral part of the league, boasting players like goalie George Vezina and the scoring machine, Joe Malone. In the 1930s, the Montreal Forum and the newly unveiled Maple Leaf Gardens housed the mammoth stage for the likes of Toronto's Kid Line and Montreal's Howie Morenz. The rivalry was born out of strong leadership off the ice as well. Men like the immortal Conn Smythe.
He was dedicated to hockey, and he was the boss. I remember coming in and being traded from New York Rangers to Toronto Maple Leafs, and I walked in his office, and the first thing I said is, "Hi, Connie." I knew when I left the office that his name was Mr. Smythe.
Dick Irvin and Frank Selke were key personnel in the formation of the Leafs. Then in the 40s, both moved to Montreal and supervised the rise of Les Canadiens. Between them, the two teams produced 9 Stanley Cups in the 40s and early 50s. Toronto won 6 of those championships, the most famous of the Leaf titles coming in 1951. When the clubs met in the final, all 5 games went to overtime, with Toronto's winning goal by Bill Barilko. At the same time, the Canadiens featured the Punchline, headed up by Maurice the Rocket Richard, hockey's most compelling personality.
Many hockey players in the league more talented than he, but none, I don't think, with a greater sense of dedication and love for the game. He knew one thing: get in, shoot. Shoot the puck in the net. That was his philosophy.
Bonan working from the side. He sent it right over front the door.
In the late 1950s, a great run for the Canadiens as they won a record 5 consecutive Stanley Cups, the final 2 of those over Toronto. Their 1960 championship saw the final goal in the career of Maurice Richard.
A pass intercepted by Maurice Richard. Maurice Richard passed it right in front of the net. Moore took a whack at it. Maurice Richard right in front of the net.
Toronto won a trio of championships in the middle 60s, but it was their 4th crown in 67 that captured the imagination.
The puck is dropped. Kelly up to Poker. Poker gets left Armstrong. Armstrong waits, takes it, does go!
The rivalry for all time, their games each season eagerly awaited, the reasons the trail forged by the aforementioned unique group. Tonight's the 623rd meeting between Montreal and Toronto. The Canadiens hold the edge by 58 victories, but they're all even this evening. This is Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Can you see this clearly? How about this? No. Could be you're not eating enough chicken. So Kentucky Fried Chicken's having a 2020 sale, where you can get a 20-piece pack of hot wings for $9.99, or a 20-piece barrel for $16.99. So visit KFC today, and you'll be seeing 2020. Hot wings or the barrel, seasoned with, you know, their own secret blend.
Nobody's cooking like today's KFC.
Yeah, sure. I understand. Thanks anyways. Bye. Hi, I'm calling about your ad in the paper. Yes, I could start right away. No, I don't have a high school diploma. I understand. Thanks anyways. Bye.
Dropping out is no way out. To get 2 important booklets, call 1-800-661-2525.
Eggs, over easily. Eggs, come in handily. Eggs, very scrambly too. Oh, you just can't beat an EGG. Eggs are naturally good as can be. That's why everybody loves a good egg.
Get cracking!
Tuesday, searching for the hidden fortune of former Romanian dictator Nicolae Ceausescu and the latest high-speed fad to hit the water. The irrepressible Bob McClure. 3 good reasons to make it CBC and you. Tuesday.
Elsewhere this evening, Ray Bourque has 3 assists as well in that game. Ken Hodge Jr. with the go-ahead goal. The Bruins lead the Rangers, and still 2-2 between the Hawks and the Wings at the stadium in Chicago. It's dead even at the Forum in Montreal. Our second intermission will conclude after these messages.
It's a voyage of technological artistry, created through scientific thought, designed on a space-aged canvas, producing a manufacturing phenomenon. It's the Soloflex muscle machine. Call now and take your body on an incredible voyage to renewed beauty. Soloflex, 21st century design for today's needs.
I've been coming into Ron's Home Hardware ever since I moved into the neighborhood. Boy, the place has really grown. Guess he's pretty proud of that. Funny, though, no matter how big his business gets, Ron always seems to know what I need.
Morning, Dave. Got that insulation for you.
How'd you know that?
Just a guess.
Home Hardware. I'm proud of my home.
Brothers. Brothers are not like your other friends. Brothers sort of take you for granted. They try to hide their emotions. They may be glad to see you, but they don't get mushy about it. Brothers are good at giving advice. They're experts on almost everything. Best of all, brothers keep an eye out for you.
Brothers, that's what Bell Long Distance is for.
The third period is just underway. Welcome back. I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal and Dick Irvin. 1:11 left in the Leaf penalty. The score is tied at 3, and the Canadiens are on the move. On the power play, LeBeau shot it in, but the Leafs send the Canadiens all the way back. 1 minute left in the penalty to Rouse. 21-14 over 2 periods. And a bit here in the third. The shots in favor of Toronto. LeBeau in. He waited too long. Krushelnyski of the Maple Leafs backhands the puck away. Schneider around the net. LeBeau's coming back. Savard on the move, cutting in front of Patrick Roy. And the pass goes out to LeBeau. Through center. Turgeon trying to pick it up. It's cleared down the ice. Krushelnyski has a shot at it. He's in. Nice play by Roy. Reaching out with a stick. Hook taking the puck away. Down the right side, didn't work. The Leafs shoot it in again. 15 seconds left in their penalty. Canadian power play. Ineffective so far, and here's Courtnall looking for room. Has to roll it out to center ice. Leafs bring it back in. Bradley. He is moving in with some speed, but Waugh again out to knock it away, and the penalty is now over. The Leafs are at full strength again. Todd Gill has to back up against Courtnall. Svoboda picks it up. Couldn't get very far. Gill turning, got rid of it, slapping it on the boards and down the ice. They're nearing the 2-minute mark of the third period. The score is tied at 3. Through center, Courtnall speeding in again. Courtnall around Godiniuk like he was stopped. Marois moves it out. The Leafs move it to center ice. Todd Gill is up there for Toronto. His pass stopped by McPhee. Gill again. He backhands it in. And out of the net is the goaltender, Patrick Waugh. Svoboda has to stop. Fergus is checking him. Svoboda can't get loose. Marois centered it. It's knocked down at the blue line. Played into Marois. Svoboda kicked it loose. He is without a stick. Godiniuk kept it in at the blue line. Kushelniski centered it. It got to the net. Waugh moved it away quickly. A dangerous move. Rouse stopped it. Shot it in. Waugh, the blocker, saved. 2.5 minutes into the third. Canadiens trying to organize. The pass all the way to McPhee. McPhee, he had a good camp. He's moving in. Oh, the rebound score! Effort by Mike McPhee paid off. What a rush. And the Canadiens take the lead again.
Good night for team captain. Carbonneau got the assist in the Canadiens' first goal. Gets the goal that gives them a 4-3 lead, but as Bob pointed out, the work was done by McPhee, especially in that move against Rouse. I thought Carbonneau kicked it into the net at first, but the Leafs didn't argue. Well, you saw it, Harry.
Tom Fergus had Carbonneau, but not well enough as that rebound came out, and Carbonneau lifted it up over a falling Grant Fuhr.
Number 6, Russ Courtnall. À 2 minutes 50 secondes, à 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Courtnall also assisting on the goal by Carbonneau. McPhee, though, what an effort. He got the other assist, and the time of the goal was 2:50. The Canadiens lead by 1. Tonight's game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
People always ask me, Dave, what's your favorite sandwich?
Introducing Dave's Favorites. 6 great tastes available every day at Wendy's.
Well, I love our barbecue bacon Swiss burger, and I love our bacon mushroom melt, and our spicy Cajun is a real hot one. Of course, I also love our chicken cordon bleu, and our chicken Santa Fe, and my new teriyaki grilled chicken is really special. Everybody's got their favorite. I happen to have 6.
Try the lineup of Dave's Favorites. New at Wendy's.
The Canadiens with a lead again. The Leafs 3 times have come back to tie the Canadiens. They have not been able to move out front at all. Here's a quick shot after the face-off. Clark with 2 goals tonight and an assist. Did not get that one through. The Canadiens move it up. A long rink-wide pass. Failed to hit Leclerc. Canadiens again lifted high. The Leaf bench off the stick of Schneider. Play stops.
You know, the Guy Carbonneau contract situation was an ongoing story for weeks and maybe months here in Montreal. Mike McPhee doesn't have an agent. He says he's going to negotiate all by himself. But you know, Harry, what Cliff Fletcher mentioned to us in the second period, a big night for the NHL. And I'm sure that the people who run the NHL are kind of glad that this night is upon them. They can take a breath and get away for a while anyway from a summer of discontent. As we take a look at that last goal, McPhee making the play, Carbonneau cashing in on the rebound. Because it has been a summer unlike, I think, any summer you probably ever imagined, Harry, with all of the things that went on, the collective bargaining situation, the player contracts, the lack of a TV contract in the States. Well, they signed one today.
Holdouts, guys not going to camp with 2 or 3 years left on their contract because the manager won't renegotiate. The general manager has earned his money this year. And there's Wendell talking to referee Andy Van Helm, who looks pretty dapper in the new, or the old referee's outfits.
With the tie up.
With the tie, right. Now he's talking to the Brian Strudlin here. They're having a little discussion, the captains or assistant captains, about, I think, about the line changes. And the the fact the Leafs get the last change, and maybe they're trying to cheat to get away from a matchup that Pat Burns won.
Canadiens 4, the Maple Leafs 3. The go-ahead goal here in the third by Guy Carbonneau at 2:50. Cote, number 5, shoots the puck in near the blue line. Schneider's parked there, and he moved back out, and the puck comes to center, but he had a stick high, and that stops it again.
Gary Lehman got hit in the ear there as he went down. And he seems to be all right as he goes to the bench, and there's a bright young rookie, one of the few on the Montreal roster this year.
Came in late in the season last year out of the University of Vermont. Got a goal in his first game playing alongside Denny Savard one night against the Rangers, I believe it was, and had an excellent camp. I guess the rawest rookie the Canadiens have that's going to try to make this hockey team on a regular basis. He's big. Pat Burns, you were talking to him today. Harry likes him.
He does like him, he said, but I don't get much room up there, Coach.
Yeah.
And Burns says, look, when you're as big as you are, you got to make your own room in this league.
This is Todd Gill trying to get the Leafs going. But the Canadiens intercept. Savard again dropped it back neatly. LeBeau's shot. Pure kicked it out. Rebound was there, but the Leafs were on it. The pass in through the skates of Pearson. Canadiens again. Muller, a nice play. Moved it up to the blue line. Savard is twisting around. And the pass was in behind Svoboda. Pearson moves up, gets the shot away. It missed the net. Canadiens move it out again. It is Muller driving one. Fior had to move quickly with the left pad to stop that. He was coming over to cut the angle, and a good shot from the left side. Fior had to kick out that left leg very quickly. There's Cordno. Full speed. Koshalinsky had him lined up. And he hit the brakes very fast. Down across the Canadian line. Waugh looking to Cote. Decides to beat it on the boards. And Rouse moved up to keep it in. Schneider back there. Hooked it loose. Rouse is in again. Tied up against Fergus. And nobody can get a shot. Here's Schneider. Tucked it ahead. Cordno got rid of it. Right onto the stick of McPhee. Coming to center. And moving up is Carbonneau. Trying to go in. And the Leaf defenseman, Ellett, got a pass away, nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period. Koshalinsky going off along with Marois as they shot the puck in. McPhee is tied up. Long pass, hit by everybody. The Leaf player going off nearly was caught. And the extra man on, he's still on. And Bob Hodges, the linesman, sees it now. And so did Jerry Gauthier, the other linesman. The Leafs are going to get a penalty for too many players on the ice. What a few blue shirts.
Can you see this clearly? How about this? No. Could be you're not eating enough chicken. So Kentucky Fried Chicken's having a 2020 sale, where you can get a 20-piece pack of hot wings for $9.99, or a 20-piece barrel for $16.99. So visit KFC today, and you'll be seeing 2020. Hot wings or the barrel, seasoned with, you know, their own secret blend.
Nobody's cooking like today's KFC.
With the score 4-3 Bruins in the third, Vladimir Ruzicka from Wesley and Moog makes it 5-3 after the Rangers get close. Things are rosy again at Boston Garden.
And not so rosy here for the Maple Leafs in the Montreal fourth. Lehman will serve the penalty.
Too many men on the ice. You can see there's 4 there, and 2 or maybe 3 off the picture. So Gary Lehman will serve the penalty, and Montreal gets a power play here with 14:28 to go in the third period. And those 2 handsome gentlemen talking over who sent that guy out anyway.
What the hats.
4-3 Montreal. That penalty coming at 5:32 of the third period. Carbonneau has the lead goal for the Canadiens. LeBeau is stopped. Koscielny moving up for Toronto. Nearly got in for a shot. Knocked down at the last seconds. Savard is skating well tonight. Goes in with third shot. It's Savard. And a back, and Muller couldn't reach it. Savard reaching for it. Leafs are going to shoot it down the ice. Savard going pretty well on that rush.
2 weeks from now, if they leave Muller on the line with Savard, he'd have been in the right spot. But he's playing with strangers. Don't forget that.
Svoboda is up. McPhee is coming in to help. Carbonneau is in front of the net. There's Carbonneau, and he missed it. Fuhrer was diving across, but Carbonneau nearly had another. LeBeau to Carbonneau. Carbonneau to the corner with it. Cardinal got it back to the blue line. LeBeau kept it in. Again, LeBeau stopped it at the line, but this time it's slapped by him by Rouse down the ice. 40 seconds left of this power play for Canadians. They're looking for insurance, but they give it away here to Gill. Up over the Canadian line is Koscielny. Backhands it in for Roy. Desjardins back of the goal and coming away. Desjardins to center ice. Being hounded all the way. The Leafs. Deberoy gets in. Shot. 6 feet wide of the net. McPhee, good play. Cardinals beating in on Fuhrer. Fuhrer beat him. Big stop by Grant Fuhrer on Russ Cardinal, who got the first goal of the game back at 8:32 of the first period. Vintage Fuhrer, and that break by Cardinal. Another shot. This one missed the net, deflected wide. Leclerc was after it. The penalty is over. Zezel in his own zone gets it to the line. Zezel again poked it out. And once more is stopped by Desjardins. Canadians continue to lead. Only by a goal, though. Leclerc in to center it. Here's a shot. And Fuhrer stopped that. And Skoulin hammered at it from 15 feet. 8 minutes gone in the third period. First game of the 91-92 season at the Forum in Montreal. The Canadians and the Leafs. Clark weaving at the blue line. The play is offside. Shot through 24-20. Favor of Toronto.
Every day at Esso, we go to extremes. From desert heat to minus 40. Quality is essential to us. It's a lot of time, and it's a lot of care.
Our gasoline goes through at least 16 different quality control tests. Nothing is left to chance. Quality is too important. From the first test to the last stop.
At Esso, you can count on all of us for the quality of our products.
Well, as I mentioned in the first period, Grant Fuhrer is outstanding at not giving you the next goal that would put this team in trouble as far as winning tonight. And here's an example of what I'm talking about. Courtnall gets in alone. Fuhrer leaves his left leg out there to make the saves, and the Leafs still are in this game with a chance to tie it and maybe even win it. But if they were down 2 with 11 minutes to go, it could be all over.
Teams are at full strength. The Leafs get the pick up the center. Lehman took a check hard on the board. Kept going with Clark, who was in ahead of him. Offside.
I mentioned the Canadians haven't had much in the way of sweater changes over the years, but there have been a few.
Well, Leclerc really threw a big-time body check into the end of the rink.
Harry, here's some of the Montreal Canadiens sweaters going back to 1910. There they won the World Championships, so somebody decided they should have a globe of the world on it. This is the one I kind of was looking for them to wear. This was the most recent one that's a bit different. But through the years, the majority of the teams wore the sweaters as we pretty well know them today.
Well, the reason that it's the red sweaters for Montreal against the blue for the Leafs, neither team being in white, is that the National Hockey League, who supplied the teams with these sweaters, only supplied the dark sweaters and not the light ones. So when the Leafs play Detroit Saturday night, if they both wear their original sweaters, Detroit will be in red and Toronto will be in blue.
I don't know when the last time was blue played against red with these teams, but despite what you may think, I didn't cover the game.
You said that you covered the game that every one of those players that were introduced before except one. That's a record. You should write a book maybe about that.
Thanks for the hint. I didn't cover all of those fellas, but I saw everybody play except Brent.
Daryl Shannon is on the ice for the Maple Leafs. Not a lot of time out there tonight, but he's number 28 on the defense now for the Leafs. As the Leafs forecheck on the Canadiens, looking to tie the game here in the third period. At the blue line is Elliott, the other defenseman. He kept it in. Marwal missed it. Muller on a skate. He and Marwal bumped together. And Muller is holding it now on the boards. It's not loose by Marwal. The Canadiens bring it out. Nice move by Schneider. Done by Marwal. Now to Turgeon. A little too far for him, though. And there's Shannon moving it up on the boards in the corner. Leafs get it out. Nearing the halfway mark. Third period. 4-3 Montreal. Scooped in by Svoboda. And Pure comes out. Stopped it. Now McPhee forechecking and got by him. Svoboda has to back up. Given away at the blue line. And it's a backhander by Bullard. That went off his stick in front. Canadiens hop on it. Ahead it goes. Cardinal nearly got loose at center ice. He was back. His long pass astray down the ice. And that will be called icing. As Desjardins goes back. They stop. Arbonneau and Bradley push at each other. Terry Gauthier is the linesman in quickly, along with Hodges. 9:37 remaining in the third period. And a 4-3 Canadiens lead.
You are watching history unfold. The Government of Canada has presented proposals for constitutional reform to Parliament. These proposals are now being studied by a special joint parliamentary committee. We invite you to take part in the process. It's your country. It's your right. Call 1-800-561-1188. Shaping Canada's future together.
On Saturday night, doubleheader time on Hockey Night in Canada. Ontario and West will see the game from Maple Leaf Gardens. The Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings. Quebec and East will see the Canadiens host the Rangers. And Harry, Bob, Ron, and Don will head to beautiful downtown San Francisco to the Cow Palace, where the Sharks will play the Canucks. In the late game. That's going to be fun. They got nice jerseys.
Yes, they do. And their coaching staff threatens to send any guy who doesn't work to Alcatraz, so they got a little something no other team's got.
A little over 9 minutes left in the third. Cardinal at the blue line. Held onto it long enough. That was offside.
Talking to one of the fellows who works here at the Forum in the concessions tonight, he said the best-selling item they've got just about so far through the exhibition games has been the San Jose Sharks puck. It's very much in demand.
Here's Svoboda, takes the double whammy from Bullard and Pearson, but got the puck past the two forecheckers. And for a little guy, he's tough.
Yes, he is tough. Remember one game in Boston a few years ago? Yeah. He must have been hit 6 times in a row. Top checks. Kept bouncing back and played a stellar game that evening, I recall.
Did you say he's a tough check? I guess that's what you're trying to tell me, Bob. Well, Montreal missed him last year, Dick, didn't they, when he wasn't available for quite a few games.
Played the first 1.5 playoff games, Harry, and that was it. Never played again.
Canadiens 4, Toronto 3. So 4 times in this game now, the Canadiens have had a 1-goal lead. And they enjoy this one thanks to the goal by Carbonneau at 2:50 in this period. Lehman tucked it through to Clark. He's been hot tonight for Toronto. 2 goals on the board already. And an assist to go with it. Schneider in front of the net. And the Russia pass through the middle. Down the end. Rouse turning for Toronto. Canadiens stopped that pass. Schneider was there for it. Here is Leclerc. Rolled it back to Schneider. Up along the boards and down the ice, and this is going to be an icing call against Montreal. So they'll bring it back up into Patrick Waugh territory. Well, 8 minutes and 25 seconds left to play.
change. Back to something simpler, where they don't care about your name. Going home again. Going home. Well, there's nothing halfway about it. Excessive love.
There's one of the new Leafs, Craig Berube, led the Flyers in penalty minutes with 293. He's ride shotgun now for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and as they wind through the Norris division, he'll be taking on the likes of Probert, Crowder, Grimson, Peluso, Butcher, Chase, and Kimball. Not an easy assignment.
Montreal trying to pad a one-goal lead. Gets the puck across the lead line. Gilchrist centered it. It's in the crease. And Petit was there to dig it out. Pass ahead. Nothing to work. Here's Savannah. Canadiens again move up on it. Into open ice. Is Svoboda. In with LeBeau. In for LeBeau. But again, it's grabbed by Shannon, and he rolled it ahead on the boards. Not out. Kirk Muller stopped that. Again, LeBeau got it back to Gilchrist. LeBeau trying to get loose. Here's Muller, and he can't reach it. Fergus with the Leafs. Backhands it on the boards and gets it to center ice. 7:35 remaining in the third period. Shannon back. He saw Petit open. Leafs were changing, and Krushelnyski got as far as center and put it up into the Canadian zone. Cote and Schneider, the defenseman. For McPhee. Ahead it goes, broken up by the lone player back for the Leafs. Elliott. He cleared it. Now Gudinja. Shot it in for Toronto. Cote waiting for Krushelnyski. Bradley on it. Can't center it though. Carbonneau got back to watch him. Bradley trying to get loose. He does. Bradley turning away from Carbonneau, then ran into the Canadian captain. Here's McPhee diving for it. Can't get it by Elliott. Waugh saw the shot from the blue line. Again, Elliott stops it. Kept it in. He just shot it into the corner, and the Canadians are going to get it out. Just hanging on, though, and they move it up and down the ice, trying to make changes, no doubt. And they do just that. Here's McPhee. Oh, and another great save by Fuhr. Picked out the left pad to make that one. Good stop by Fuhr on Mike McPhee. Pearson moving to center. Waited too long. Just shot it in now. He goes off. The Leafs making quick changes to the Canadiens. Moving back out. Opening up a bit now. Good moves by Desjardins. He's up over the line. Played it into the right side, and Skrugland centered it back in front. Scramble, and Svoboda gets loose. He's spun around by Clark. On the puck again, Svoboda. Here's Svoboda in back of the net. Leclerc, he's checked in time and can't make a play. Wendell Clark for Toronto. High pass to center, knocked down by Svoboda, who got back. Having a good shift for Montreal, Svoboda hands it off, starts to play. Canadians shoot it in. Keane is racing in against Petit. Pulled him. Got around the net. Pass back, and the Leafs clear it out. Lehman is skating hard with Clark. Lehman and Clark. Clark after it. He was checked. 3 Canadians on this play. It's shot in by Keane as he wanted to get off. Here's Gill. Gave it away just outside the line. He got it back, though. And up for Clark. Clark and Lehman. Clark's shot is deflected. Clark goes off on a change. 5 minutes left in the third period. Montreal is leading 4-3. Savard's pass doesn't work. They keep it in, though. Lehman on it. Left to there, and Semeta got it out to center ice. Semeta is up on the play. Takes the shot, and a weak one it was. Waugh will slow it down by holding it.
Well, for the...
We have 4:42 left in the third period.
Introducing a car that will actually change the road as you know it. A car that will command the road as impressively as it commands your attention. A car that offers you a new vision and design. Performance. Space. Introducing the all-new Toyota Camry for 1992. Camry. It will change the road forever.
Kirk Muller, and the question around Montreal the last 2 weeks, the main hockey question, what do you think of the trade? Harry, what do you think of the trade?
Well, you're going to get 80 games from Muller, all of them intelligent, hard-working games. Won't be as good as the 25 or 30 Richer played, but a lot better than the 25 or 30 Richer showed up but didn't play. You know, this year's schedule is 1 week longer, well, almost 6 days longer than any other NHL schedule, starting tonight, October the 3rd, and going to April the 5th. The reason, Phil Scheuer tells me, 4 days they want a break at the All-Star game, and they take a weekend away from you.
I asked Kirk Muller today, Harry. You like to ask players after a trade, what do you think about it? What happened when you heard it first? Loved it. Just loved it. He was enjoying his short stay so far in Montreal, and as he said, boy, this is hockey. We all dream about it. Great feeling on this team.
Well, Pat Burns told me that he thinks this year's Montreal Canadiens, based on what he saw at training camp, will be a harder working, more intense team without the factions they've had on the team in other years. And we'll soon see whether Mr. Burns is right or is dreaming.
Well, they have their hands full with the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. They're leading just by a goal with 4 minutes left of the third period. The Canadiens scored first. The Leafs tied it. Scored again. The Leafs tied it. 3 times that happened. And now the fourth goal by the Canadiens, Carbonneau from McPhee and Courtnall at 2:50 of this third period, giving the Canadiens that 1-goal margin. Here's Koscielny knocking one down, but he's checked immediately, and the Canadiens roll it out. Courtnall shot along one end to the right of Grant Fuhr. Back it comes. Courtnall centered it. McPhee trying to get loose in front, can't keep it in. Schneider whipped it back quickly. Cote rolls it up into the corner by Rouse. And Rouse catches up to it behind the Leaf net. He is being checked. He lifted one high. Got over the glass. 3:14 to play in the third. And the Canadiens continue to hang on to that 1-goal lead.
To unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Soloflex. 32 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance, all on a simple machine that fits in the corner of your home. For a free brochure, call anytime.
To stay tuned following the end of the game for our Molson Cup 3-star selection. Wendell Clark, a pretty good bet. I like the Rocket. He got the biggest cheer of the night so far.
Carbonneau has played a strong game for the Canadiens.
Very strong since the middle of the game. I didn't think he was quite himself in the first period, but his line mates and he have come to life here since the middle of the second period.
Right now, he has the go-ahead goal for Montreal. Carbonneau scored early in the third period. And Gilchrist takes the puck out. He slides it down the ice. The Canadiens trying to protect that 1-goal lead. And the pace slows in the dying minutes of the third period. We're down to 2:43 left.
Well, Harry, the Leafs dominated the second period, had 13 shots. They've had only 4 shots through the first 17 minutes of this period.
Now, Michel Petit has played very close to 30 minutes tonight as Tom Watt goes with 4 defensemen in Cheech, Shannon, and Godinyak. Shannon more than the Soviet player. But this is going to be a tough act for Michel Petit, Gill, Rouse, and Ellett to play as much as they played tonight every night for 80 games. Now, when they need one of them to jump out and get involved in a rush, they're tired. And I'm sure Cliff Fletcher's looking to help the Leaf defense, so he's not so dependent on the question mark young players that haven't proved they can play in this league.
Face off just to the left of Roy. The Canadiens win the draw. Schneider behind the goal. Strudland is coming back to take the puck from him, then give it back to him. He hit Gilchrist with a neat, quick pass. Gilchrist shoots it from center, and it goes in. Fuhrer watching it behind the net. Zezel back, helping out. Zezel behind the goal, trying to tie up the Canadiens forechecking. But here's Clark again, leading the rush for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and was stopped at center. And again, the Leafs have to go back. 2:10 left. Nearly intercepted by Keane. Lehman takes the pass, but Clark is away offside on the left wing.
Montreal's the best team in the league at not letting you go through the neutral zone in control of the puck and kind of daring you to try and make a rink-wide pass. They let you get to your own blue line without harassing you too badly, but once you've chosen to go up the right or the left side of the rink, if you can't beat the forechecker in a foot race, he forces you to throw it into the middle, and Montreal, the other two forwards and the defensemen, are clogging up the center of the rink. And this is why you see offsides, icings, and turnovers in the neutral zone. Montreal's done that for quite a number of years, better than any other team in the National League. I think it was Bowman who got him going. And now the young players come in, see the older players do it, and they do it. One of the traditions that probably isn't talked about a lot in Montreal, but has helped win as many games as any of them.
Into the final 2 minutes of the third period. Canadiens up by a goal. McPhee shot to center. Bullard picked it up and drops it back in. Svoboda was back. Canadiens are going to clear it. McPhee, Carbonneau again, with Cordnell again. Carbonneau for the net. Desjardins shot, not much on it. It bounced off the boards and got into the crease, but Fuhrer saw it in time, and we're down to 1:32 remaining in the third.
Looked like Desjardins didn't know if he was going to shoot it or pass it, and ended up doing half of each.
The Tom Candiotti's shot, to me, fluttering in there and nearly fooled Grant Fuhrer. The puck's rolling. Now look at this one. You couldn't hit it if you were a baseball player, and Fuhrer has a little trouble catching it. So perhaps that's a new weapon after Desjardins' trip to the Canada Cup. Knuckleballs, change-ups. Russ Cordnell gets his nose in the clear, and you see nothing but the back of his uniform. No one, and I mean no one, catches him when he gets a sniff of the open air between himself and the opposing goal.
The Leafs still stalled as far as the shots are concerned this period. Canadiens are doing a better job inside their own blue line in this third period. That was Panic City back there for a fair amount in the second period whenever they got the puck, especially the defense. Now we've got a delay. Very warm day in Montreal today. Raining late this afternoon. And the ice is maybe showing the effects right now.
Well, this delay is perfect for the Leafs. It saves them from burning a timeout. 1:32 to go, so Watt will take a timeout, and he can have whoever he likes play the last minute and a half here.
We'll keep an eye on Grant Fuhrer. No doubt if the Leafs are successful in winning the faceoff and they can move it out and into the Canadiens' end, Fuhrer will start moving out. The Leafs looking for one to tie it here in the late stages of the third period. They get it up as far as center, but Cote gets to center, trying to shoot it in. It was stopped, however. Clark ahead with it. Fuhrer edging out of the net. Now he'll have to get back in as Petit has to come back. 1:15 left in the third. Zezel missed it. The pass behind him, really, and the Canadiens shoot it in. Fuhrer comes out of the net. It's played to the line. Leafs can't get it going into the final minute. Fuhrer moving out to leave it for Gill. Canadiens trying to hang on to a 4-3 lead. We have 50 seconds to play. Skrulin stopped it. They're pressing the Leafs inside the line. Toronto moving it up to the line, and again, Keane turns with it. Brings it in. Goes in with Leclerc broken up, and Clark gets it out. Fuhrer's moving out. The long shot in, and there goes Grant Fuhrer to the Leaf bench. They have the extra man on, but the Canadiens looking at the empty net. Get it to center. McPhee is stopped. Carbonneau on it. Kushalinski gets it back. 22 seconds remaining. Canadiens lead by 1 goal. The Leafs have 6 skaters on. Fuhrer is on the bench. 12 seconds remaining, and the Canadiens shoot it down the ice, but a bad play maybe. With only 7 seconds remaining, that is icing against Montreal. They bring it all the way down for this next face-off, and no doubt a timeout will be called.
In the last 40 seconds, the Toronto Maple Leafs in the neutral zone, coming up the ice, couldn't complete 7 passes from one side of the rink to the other because Montreal takes the neutral zone away from you. And they were fortunate that they got the icing to get into the Montreal zone because they didn't look like they were ever going to do it. There's Tom Watt. He's given the face-off play now. And there's Pat Burns.
And maybe chatting with Matthew Schneider a bit somewhere along the way. It was Schneider who got rid of the puck from his own side of the red line and put a lot on it, which he really didn't have to do, that caused the icing. So the stage is set now for quite a finish for the Leafs if they can come up with the tying goal, as Fuhr, as you see, is on the bench. Not a bad debut for Grant Fuhr. He wasn't all that busy in the first 2 periods, but he's had some quality shots to stop, and as Harry pointed out, they're the kind of shots that can put your team in a hole if they go in, and the quality stops were made to keep this a 1-goal hockey game right now. There's the empty Leaf net. 7.8 seconds to be exact, showing on the clock.
Yeah, that's a new wrinkle in the National League. Tenths of seconds in the last minute.
They do it in the Soviet Union, so maybe we're catching up.
Don't let Cherry hear you say that.
Too late. 7.8 left. All right.
You got it. You got it, Bob, anyway.
4-3 is the score. The Canadiens. A go-ahead goal early in the 3rd period. Now the extra man on for Toronto. Their net empty. They can't win the face-off. Canadiens will win the game. Elliott comes back. Lifts one out. Game over. Canadiens. A squeaker over the Maple Leafs here on this great night at the Montreal Forum.
Interesting, Harry. Kirk Muller was there for the final face-off, wearing number 11, Ryan Walter's former uniform number, and playing like Ryan Walter in a situation like that. And Muller, who didn't take many face-offs tonight, basically playing as a winger, won it for Montreal.
Well, there's the 3 Coco Bont. Good luck from Strudlin to Patrick Waugh. The Leafs didn't lose the draw, but nobody took the winger out, and he stepped right in and dumped the puck into the neutral zone.
The final shots, 25-21 in favor of Toronto, but they lose the game. The Canadiens win it on a goal by Carbonneau early in the 3rd, 4-3. In just a moment, the Molson Cup 3-star selection.
Where you can see it in your eyes. Nothing halfway about it. Something about a good friend coming by with a hand you live. Always gonna be there. Always gonna be there. Well, there's nothing halfway about it. It says it all.
Expressing a preference for the Dodge Shadow and Plymouth Sundance, young people are also expressing a philosophy. Perhaps they heard it from their parents. You want it all, but you don't want to pay for it. At least it's a good starting point. Chrysler. All you have to do is drive one.
Back live at the Forum in Montreal, the Molson Cup 3 stars this evening. Guy Carbonneau, a 2-point night, a goal and an assist. The number 1 star, Wendell Clark, captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, shares his colleagues' distinction of making the 3-star selections with 2 goals and an assist. And John Leclerc of the Canadiens, star number 3. Montreal wins over Toronto by a score of 4-3. The Canadiens' lead in first in the Adams division was roughly 10 seconds because the Bruins have just won their game 5-3. But the Canadiens, 9-1 in the NHL preseason, continue to roll and score the 1-goal victory this evening over the Maple Leafs. They'll now stay home for a game Saturday against the Rangers and then head for 3 on the road. The Toronto Maple Leafs lose their opener but now go home for 4 straight at Maple Leaf Gardens. And for Montreal, they've been awfully tough starting the year at home, 75th time, and they've won 48 of those. To recap, the Molson Cup 3 stars tonight. Guy Carbonneau, number 1. Wendell Clark, the 2nd star. and John LeClair, star number 3. The Montreal Canadiens win their season and home opener over the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 4-3. Kirk Muller joins me next on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Darling, there's a secret to getting rich. Oil, diamonds, I think not. The secret is shopping Herbie's. But don't tell, darling, then everyone will save money.
Playtex disposable bottle liners. Bonus size, only $3.99. Playtex tampons, bonus packs, assorted types, just $4.99 at Herbie's.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry is brought to you by Pepsi. It's got what it takes.
All right, who's next?
Me.
What's this I hear about you drinking Coke in class?
It was Pepsi.
Coke, Pepsi, it makes no difference to me.
The difference is one tastes better.
I like this one.
You chose Pepsi. Hey guys, now's a good time to take off.
The majority of soft drink users tested prefer the taste of Pepsi over Coke Classic. What's this about you drinking Pepsi?
Now, wait a minute. Before you start, just a minute. Martin Simard, I want to talk about this kid from Calgary. 4 years in Salt Lake City, paid his dues down there, right? Gets a chance last night. He's in the game, gets a tooth knocked out, the nerve is hanging down. Dennis takes him downtown, has a root canal, right? Root canal, they heard, I know. Back to the game. Second period, he gets back, has a fight with Buka Boom, picks on a tough guy, and in the third period scores his first NHL goal. Good Montreal kid. You fair play commissioners, no Czech hockey guys, haven't driven all the men out. Way to go, Martin.
Flames won 9-2 over the Oilers. Did you want to comment on that game?
No, Oilers got to get straightened out. Don't worry about that. They'll get straightened out. They have guys coming in. So what? You lose 9-1, 2-1.
This is the Coach's Corner from the Cal Palace. I got any beefs or any highlights from the time you played here in the 1960s?
Wait a minute. I got something to say here. I'm listening to the game last night on the radio. Dennis Hall does a pretty good job. The guys explaining icing, offsides. In the paper today, it had the questions were, do I catch the puck? Can I keep it? Do I have to wear heavy clothes? Will it be freezing in there?
Artie Astrom used to ask me that.
I know all the time. But listen, I think of Hamilton. And tears got in my eyes listening, got to explain the game. Tears got in my eyes. Think of the Canada Cup, folks, 4 years ago when Gretzky said he owes it to the people of Hamilton for inspiring them. They're down 3-0. The last time, 16,005, and the owners give a franchise here and in Tampa. Can you imagine that? And the owners say the players are greedy. They don't think about the game. They don't think about the game. Did they think about the game when they let one come here and they let one go to Tampa? The players should get as much as again. The owners are greedy, and the players should be just as greedy too. So don't blame it all on the players being greedy. You people disgrace that we got to come out here.
9,000 tickets.
I don't care.
A lot of fans.
You and I sat down out here. You sat in front of me. I could not see the goal.
No, it's not a great rink.
Well,
they're moving in 2 years for $125 million.
Don't care.
When you played here in the 60s in the Western Hockey League, minor pro, anything happened?
Minor pro, is it minor pro? There was 6 teams then. It'll be the next 12. I come in here, folks. I come in here. I joined Spokane. We were the toughest. We had Mad Dog Manigan, Bill the Destroyer Savech, Sandy Stoneface Huckle. We come in here. I walk in. There's a big sign at the end. Larry McNabb, heavyweight champion of the WHL. So what happens? I know I'm going to have to take him on. Unfortunately, I had a new pair of gloves on. You understand? You wouldn't know it had. A fighter always has fast gloves. Get them off fast.
Old gloves, so why did you have new ones?
Well, I came. I didn't want to start any trouble or anything. They give me new gloves. Anyhow, I know I'm going to tangle. We get going. I can't get the gloves off in time, and I'm one behind. I'm telling you, an allianceman got on my back. He's literally bouncing him off the ice up into my head. He hit me so many times on top of the head, he couldn't comb my hair for a week, but I put him out for 8 weeks. You know how?
No, how?
He broke his hand on my head, and he was out 8 weeks.
All right, that's nice. So we'll look forward to more of this in the second intermission of our game later tonight from here in San Francisco when San Jose plays host to Vancouver. Plus a compliment for Martin Samard, who even after a root canal proved he had a lot of nerve. In this installment of the Coach's Corner on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry.
Nelson, Peter Maher, and the Fuentes twins were out to challenge a fine international field. Things spun coming out of the first turn and took out 4 cars, including Goodyear's Lola. Meanwhile, it looked like Rahal was going to pick up his first win of the year when he blew past Michael Andretti, but both drivers were forced to make late pit stops, and that handed the victory to Ari Luyendyk. Bobby Rahal was second, followed by Michael, who now leads Rahal by 12 points with 1 race to go. Toronto's Paul Tracy was a strong 7th. Well, the National Hockey League is full of troubles as it kicks off its 75th anniversary season. The players are working without a contract. Several top stars want new contracts. And then there's the Eric Lindros situation. But none of that has prevented the NHL from kicking things off in style this season. Sportsbeat's George Bryson joined the Maple Leafs and went in style as well.
In 1917, a group of sports and business entrepreneurs gathered in Montreal. A charter was drawn up, and the National Hockey League was born. Among the teams, the Toronto Arenas and the Montreal Wanderers and Canadiens. Frank Calder was named president, and the teams played a 22-game schedule. Since then, so much has changed. There are now 22 teams throughout North America and players from Canada, the U.S., and Europe. This year, a season-long 75th anniversary celebration. The Leafs kicked off the festivities Wednesday, arriving at Toronto's Union Station, prepared to ride the rails to their season opener. In the spirit of seasons past, the players donned their fedoras and were welcomed.
You know, it used to be for coaches in hockey, too, that certainly in the winter months, your players were never to be bareheaded. They were showering so much, you never wanted to get the flu. That was kind of old-time hockey, that you either had a toque or you had a fedora.
The trip by train to Montreal provided this year's Leafs team a chance to enjoy the way it was in past for the NHLers. Also along for the ride, past members of the Leafs, like 90-year-old Frank Finnegan. They spent most of their careers traveling by train.
Did the players enjoy traveling by train?
Oh, yes. At that time you sure did, because they weren't traveling by plane. They didn't have the planes they have today. Carry the people. A lot of the planes were a lot smaller. Yeah.
Well, we'd play a lot of cards, learn how to play bridge my first year in the league, and did a lot of reading.
The times may have changed, but ways to fill in the time on board haven't.
3. Woo.
Good for you.
How's the trip going so far?
It was going good until this hand. 3 of us just lost. Peter says I think he's got some cards in his pocket.
Looks to me like you probably played it a few times before.
Well, that's my first time. These guys think that anyways.
Guys been well behaved so far?
Yes, certainly well behaved. Quite patient and just kind of sitting back and relaxing.
He got a quick pass away to Bradley. Clark is in front of the net. Ellis shot, Clark scored!
When the train arrived in Montreal, something that never would have happened in the past, a reception committee organized by the opposing team. Hab greats from the past like Beliveau, Richard, and Geoffrion were there to say welcome to the Maple Leafs. And surprisingly, Leaf fans in Montreal, chasing their heroes for an autograph.
When you come to a game in Montreal Forum, there's a tremendous following of the opposite team. Sometimes you wonder who scored the goal.
With the trip and celebrations over, it was game time at the Forum, and the continuation of the old Canadiens-Leafs rivalry heightened by the replica uniforms worn by both clubs. And like many great games from the past between these two teams, this game was decided by 1 goal, scored in the 3rd period by the Canadiens captain, Guy Carbonneau.
Aside from the old-style uniform, traveling by train, and these hats, there's one other tradition the Toronto Maple Leafs would like to continue. 75 years ago, the Toronto Arenas beat the Montreal Canadiens in a 2-game playoff series for the Eastern Final. They went on from there to beat the Vancouver Millionaires to become the first NHL team to win the Stanley Cup. In Montreal, for Sportsbeat Today, I'm George Bryson.
The guys just met their match at Frisbee football. Defeat didn't go down too well, but the icy cold Miller Lite will.
Come on, we were dogging it out there.
Yeah, sure, but they didn't have to run up the score.
Yeah, they really rubbed our noses in it.
You know, the least they could have done is buy us a beer. Bunch of animals. Hey, look at them over there. Hooting and howling. No, breeding. I think they want the game.
Miller Lite, always a great call.
Got a bad cold? Get the remedy from the makers of Sudafed, the decongestant most recommended by doctors.
Is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house?
Sudafed, non-drowsy, Sudafed cough and cold.
I guess that's your recommendation, Doc.
This wasn't a gold star. Or this. Or this. Now this is a gold star. Gold stars seldom get thrown out because they're slow to wear out. Millions of people around the world reach for the gold star name when they want state-of-the-art electronics. When you want lasting quality and value, reach for the stars from Gold Star.
To demonstrate the Instapure water filter, I'm going to add some contaminants to this tank of water. Chlorine, rust, dirt, and sediment. As you can see, they don't look too good. And believe me, they don't taste too good either. Now, this is the Instapure water filter. It reduces these contaminants, making the water look better and taste better. What could be simpler?
Dad, can I have some, please?
Sure, son.
Instapure water filters, only from Teledyne Waterpick.
Knorr announces a great marriage. The marriage of Knorr's sauces to your favorite pasta. Sensational creamy sauces, so delicious, so easy to prepare in no time at all. Alfredo, Romano, Primavera. Knorr's sauces in your favorite pasta. A perfect marriage, because with Knorr, taste is everything.
You've worked hard to set aside your savings. Now you should be looking for the best place to invest those savings. To turn them into something even more valuable. Canada Savings Bonds. They offer an attractive interest rate that's guaranteed for a full year, and you can cash them at any time. Turn your savings into a profitable investment with Canada Savings Bonds. Buy yours from October 17th to November 1st.
Well, it's been quite a summer for the Blue Jays, and perhaps the best is yet to come. But no matter what happens, the summer of '91 will be remembered as the year of the changing of the guard. Roberto Alomar, Devon White, and Joe Carter transformed the Jays, and 4 million fans said they agreed. It was a new team that greeted Blue Jay fans in '91. Off-season trades saw the acquisition of Roberto Alomar, Joe Carter, and Devon White. They not only changed the face of the team, but its style of play as well. More base stealing and sacrifices, resulting in an exciting offense. But it took a while to make it work. The bats went silent on a sultry May 1st in Texas when Nolan Ryan shut down the Jays for his 7th career no-hitter. Anything but a no-hitter May 19th in Chicago when Mark Whitten didn't like this pitch from Jack McDowell. The best punch of the season is Whitten's roundhouse right. Both players were suspended. Bad news on May 22nd. A freak accident at first cost them their #1 starter. Steve went on the disabled list and remained there for the rest of the season. Doubts about the Jays' pitching soon disappeared, however. At the end of June, the Jays hooked one of the best knuckleballers in the business, Tom Candiotti from the Cleveland Indians. And unexpectedly, rookie Juan Guzman emerged as a pitcher to be reckoned with. Strong pitching and strong defense saw the Jays grab top spot in the AL East on June 21st. It was August 7th when the Terminator Tom Hankey entered the record books with his 25th save in a row. By year's end, Dwayne Ward would have more than 20 saves as well, and the Jays would become only the 3rd team in history to have 2 pitchers with at least 20 saves. But on August 9th, the house of cards crumbled. An 8.5-game lead dwindled to nothing when the Bo Sox took 4 straight at Skydome. Mounting frustration became evident during that series when Cito Gaston and David Wells got into a shouting match on national television. The mound became a hot place again on August 18th. Detroit's Bill Gullickson nearly tears Joe Carter's head off, and both teams clear the benches. Carter demonstrated quick thinking and leadership by not charging the mound, thus avoiding certain suspension. Manager Cito Gaston was in no position to charge anything, however. Back problems put him in hospital in late August. Gene Tennis took over, leading the team to a 19-14 record. Cito, though, came back in time to watch his Jays clinch their 3rd American League East title in dramatic fashion in their last home game of the season. That night, another full house at Skydome resulted in the Jays becoming the first team in history to draw more than 4 million fans in a single season. And Skydome witnessed a couple of firsts in 1991. On July 8th, Cal Ripken homered as the American League beat the National League in Toronto's first All-Star game. And 3 days later, designated hitter Rance Mullinick scurried around the bases en route to Skydome's first inside-the-park home run. All that remains to make the season complete for the Jays is a World Series in Toronto. Now it's time for the Miller Lite Smithsonian Institute, brought to you by Miller Lite, always a great call. There were plenty of highs and lows this past week, and many of our inductees experienced a little of both. Let's check them out. As Sir Isaac Newton once said, what goes up must come down. Jerry Rice will go along with that. He gets popped by Terry McDaniel and comes down on his head crushed. That has to hurt. Officials weren't immune either. The play's out of bounds. That's it, guys. Play's dead. I said play's dead. Oops, I'm dead. Best hit of the NHL today. Wes Waltz lines up Mike Gardner, and it's upsy daisy. Oh, my aching back. Some people went overboard when it came to hitting things, like Mike Sharperson, who sends a broken bat bouncer to short. It bounces off the bat again. Shouldn't that be a double? Always helps when an umpire is on his toes. See what I mean? Yep, that was a close call, all right. Joe Carter goes a little far in the fan appreciation department, tracking down this foul ball. Excuse me, mind if I have a seat? Thank you. And when it comes to unusual, nothing beats beach ball golf. That's right, how far can you drive that Spalding while bouncing on a beach ball? That's better than most of my drives. But Jim Courier doesn't need a big ball at this beach. Great looking shot, and it's in. What a sand shot. His sandwich was so hot he couldn't hang on to it anymore. Welcome to the Miller Lite Smithsonian Institute, brought to you by Miller Lite, always a great call.
After a little 2-on-2, the guys are ready to go 1-on-1 with icy cold Miller Lite.
One of these days I'm going to dunk this sucker. Yeah, right. Hey, you can't dunk.
Hey, guys. Cold Miller Lite.
I'll get those. Uh-oh, here we go again. So, you guys really don't think I could dunk, huh?
No. I rest my case.
Hey, return if we can, all right? Oh.
Miller Lite, always a great call.
Yeah, right.
Well, if you want to talk about record performances in the World Series, you won't see any Blue Jays names there. The reason is obvious, so it stands to reason they'd all be envious to hear about the numbers put up by former Yankee great Yogi Berra, who we salute today as yesterday's hero. For Yogi, it starts with the most impressive number of all, 14 appearances in the World Series, all with the New York Yankees, where he played his entire 18-year career. The most impressive picture is that of a jubilant Yogi leaping into the arms of Don Larson after catching his perfect World Series game in 1956. Berra finished his career with 358 home runs and a volume of sayings only Yogi could dream up. It ain't over till it's over. If they don't want to come to the ballpark, you can't stop them. And on and on. Yogi Berra, yesterday's hero. And time now to announce the winner of our Argonaut Trivia Contest. The question was, who was the last Argo to be named the CFL Rookie of the Year? The answer, Jerry? The answer is Gil Fenerty, Gil the Thrill, in 1987. And congratulations to Michael Thompson of Toronto, who will be watching that game October 20th from Skydome from a pair of field-level seats. Congratulations, Michael. And, Jerry, I think I should point out before we go that I picked the Jays to win the division title before the season started, and believe you picked the Red Sox. Sorry, folks. Thanks for watching. We're out of time. We'll see you again.
Sports Beat Today has been brought to you by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, always a great call.
Wood joins his father in a field trip he'd rather not take. Evening Shade tomorrow night at 8.
Then at 8:30, chaos reigns when Miles' girlfriend loses her job. Murphy Brown, tomorrow on CFTO TV.
He's renowned for opera musical, are scattered inconspicuously throughout the diner. Dorothy is a waitress, Durwood is a chef, I'm the customer, and we've got some dancers, singers, and orchestra ready to join in.
You were there.
The awards start with the fight of the week. Yes, the fights. It's Big Bobby Probert against Mario Roberge of Montreal, who's very game, but eventually Probert gets free here. And after Roberge gets a couple whacks, it's all over. 3-4 left hands, and the Zebras get in there, and they stop the fight. And this is how you clap. I never could figure this out. How do you clap and hang on to your beer at the same time? This lady's got it down pat. Hey, way to go, way to go. And she's still got a quarter of a glass. Mike Ramsey nails Vladimir Ruzicka up and over into the Buffalo bench. Nicely done. And it was fight night in Chicago. Steve Smith against the Sharks' Ken Hammond. Then that goon goalie, Brian Hayward. Look at this. His former teammate, Chris Chelios, he tries to unscrew his head. That is that's an automatic game misconduct. He gets thrown out of the game, and as he's going down the steps, hey, Hayward, you bum, you stink. And Brian loses it. Look at this. Come on, I know you. I know where you're sitting. Come on, I'll hit you with my Hessler stick. Okay? A Hessler award. The guy eventually got knocked out. Now in football, Ricky Foggy, it's a pinball Clemens. He's surrounded, tries to get it back to Foggy, intercepted by Paul Mazzotti, who's going to throw to David Williams for a touchdown. Wait, how come? Why isn't anyone cheering? Why? Because... Why ask why? Why ask why it's a penalty, you knucklehead? Get out of here. Now to the colleges. Florida, with no time remaining, tries the Hail Mary against Tennessee. And Florida is going to catch it for a... No. Intercepted by Tennessee and a beauty. Best new sport to watch, sumo wrestling. Look at this. And then there's, knock the big guy over. Watch it, son. You better get out of there before he kills you. And my favorite, look at, talcum powder. I'm going to kill you. Yeah, bring me over here. Yeah, okay, sumo wrestling. Get out of here now. Speaking of weird bodies, I have seen this woman who's built like a Sherman tank. I never liked it when the guys did this, and I don't like it. Is that a woman? I don't know. Looks like a roast chicken to me. Hey, let's get on to something else. Maybe Brett Butler of the Dodgers takes his kid out to play a little ball. The kid's like 3 years old. Cute, but can he hit a baseball? I don't think so. So Butler with a fastball swung on. He nails the old man right in the Fasnaris. And the kid, he's like... Let's watch it again in slow motion. Good follow through, good extension, and hey, I can hear that one all the way up here. Yay! Sportsline returns in 30 seconds with Blues Leafs highlights. Stick around.
What do you think you'd...
Tonight, third period, Paul to Shanahan, looking for Nelson Emerson, the Hamilton native. Back to Shanahan, nice goal, tic-tac-toe, Curly, Larry, and Moe. 4-1 for the Blues in a power play. Blues are working around here, run, Sutter pokes in a rebound. 5-1, the final for the Blues over the Leafs. They're really, there's games you're going to lose, and that had to be one of them. St. Louis had to get back for that loss at the Gardens.
Absolutely, and the Leafs didn't get outshot and still lost the hockey game. They outshot them 19-8 in the first period. We're trailing 2-1, so that's the way things go. Minnie has tied it against Calgary 3-3 in the third. Dave Gagne has the third goal for Minnie. And there's a team that, a lot of people thought, oh, well, they got to the finals last year, and they won't be the same. No, they're going to be a better team this year than they were last year during the regular season. Gagne's a terrific coach.
And Bobby Clark gets no credit at all. Has added the right people. He added Ellick and Ramage and a few others.
They're a good-looking team. They could win the division.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, not at all. Not at all. Now, you got an Argo
yeah, Tom Porras has been added to the Argonauts roster yet again. They're really battered,
let's think about 33.
33, yeah, he's almost getting into our neighborhood. Foggy goes down with an injury on the weekend on Friday in Winnipeg. They lose Clemens. They could have a bit of trouble the rest of the way.
Yeah, I had heard a rumor earlier today that the Argos were interested in Mike Kerrigan from Hamilton's. Hamilton's out of it. I'm not sure Hamilton would deal with Toronto on that level, but the rumor was Carl Brazeley for Mike Kerrigan. Now, if you're going to go the rest of the year with a quarterback, you want to have a guy that's got some experience and some mobility. I'm not sure Tom Porras is the answer. Willie Gillis certainly isn't.
No.
But I'll tell you what, and I've been saying it since the start of the year, if you're going to pay that kind of money to Rocket Ismail, you got to have him involved in 30 to 35 offensive plays a game.
Well, they may not have a choice now.
Yeah, but I mean, how can you not? I mean, if you're paying the guy that kind of money and Pinball's injured again, I'd go to the Rocket every chance I had.
And if I was defending, I'd just stick 2 people in the Rocket.
Well, fine, 2 people, but I mean, if he's that fast and he's got that much field to work with, design some plays around him. Not every play, but certainly a good deal of plays, and you don't have to worry.
They're in a bit of a spot because Foggy's injury is the type that doesn't go away. Matt's really banged up, and Gillis is in a tough spot. It's hard to go from 3rd string to controlling the offense.
Very much
it doesn't really state anything about his talent.
But in Winnipeg, James West, Tyrone Jones refused to report to camp today. They're totally frustrated. Winnipeg's got a real problem with people walking out all over the place. And things don't look great for that team because they're just upset with the situation, want to renegotiate. Same thing happened earlier this season. They didn't want to go to training camp. So, you know, you got some problems in the Canadian Football League now.
Well, if they could get that television deal worked out, and if they got more money out of it, they would have solved a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, but, you know, November's around the corner, and that's playoff football in the CFL, a possible Grey Cup.
That's when the league shines.
Yeah, it's wide open this year, I think, personally.
That's right.
Anything can happen. Who knows?
That's right. You'd think the Argos would be in a good position, but with those injuries, they're a little slim.
Final thoughts on the Jays? The lost weekend.
Oh, that was tough.
Yeah, that was awful.
They'll be back next year. Thanks for allowing us into your homes. Good night from Sportsline.
Good night.
Toronto Argonauts put their unbeaten home record on the line against the Calgary Stampeders this afternoon. The Boatmen were 7-0 at Skydome this season, but Calgary could be the best team in the West. So you got to wonder why the crowds aren't bigger than they are. The Argos are trying to attract younger fans, and just maybe it's beginning to pay off, but nothing paid off for the Argos in the first half. Here's Pee Wee Smith taking a Hank Olisic punt at his own 30-yard line. He goes up the middle, and Hank's the only man back, and he just lets him go. 80 yards for the score. Stamps are on top in this one early by a score of 10-0 thanks to Pee Wee Smith. And if you think that's bad, take a look at this. Darryl Smith fumbles. Alondra Johnson nabs it at midfield. This is in the second quarter. He'll go all the way. The Stamps forge to a 20-13 halftime lead without a single offensive touchdown. More bad news in the third. Here's Danny Barrett over the middle to Carl Bland. Calgary leads 27-13. Looked like the unbeaten streak at home would end. Fourth quarter heroics, however. Ricky Foggy to Darryl Smith, who goes over the top for the catch and then goes over the goal line for the score. 89 yards in all for this one as Darryl weaves his way down the sideline. A little stiff arm there. The Boatmen have narrowed the score to 27-24. And finally, a first for Rocket Ismail, and it couldn't have come at a better time. He takes the punt with less than 2 minutes to go, and look out, on go the Afterburners, and that was that. Ismail stuns the crowd of 33,000 and the Stampeders with a 69-yard punt return for a touchdown. The Argos storm back from an apparent loss to beat Calgary 34-27. The Argos now have a bye to the Eastern Final.
Finally got the opportunity to be a part of something that our special teams has worked so hard for all year. Man, it just felt great. You know, I was like, I didn't know, I still don't know how I feel, but I know that I'm just happy for the rest of the guys, that hard work we put in prior to this the whole season, people questioning our return game. I'm glad that we finally came through.
You know, Rocket is our money man. Them at pinball, they make the plays. I'm just a part.
Darryl Smith is the best receiver in the league, bar none. Game in and game out, he showed it. Darryl Smith is my man.
And the Rocket, we wanted him to touch the ball a lot tonight, and we didn't get him to him in the second half, but he touched it one time, and that was it.
Now, the only certainty out west is that Saskatchewan is going to miss the playoffs. After that, who knows? Heading into the weekend, Edmonton and Calgary were tied for first, and BC was just 2 points back. Doug Flutie was trying to keep his Lions in the running for first and add a few yards to his record passing total as he led his club into Commonwealth Stadium today. But the running game was a story early. Flutie gives to John Volpe. What a year this guy is having. Volpe uses his speed to get outside. He picks up 17 tough yards. The Lions jumped out to the early lead. But in the second quarter, the Eskimos go on the move. Blake Marshall powers his way in from the 4-yard line. That's his 20th touchdown of the year, tying a record. Third quarter, Doug Flutie steps back, hits Jay Christensen wide open. The Lions had the lead, but the Eskimos get it back. Henry Gizmo Williams back to take the punt deep in his own zone. The Gizmo darts up the middle where the Eskimos had created a huge hole, and he keeps on trucking. Lou Passalia misses a tackle. The Gizmo is gone. 88-yard touchdown, the 5th time he's taken one back this season. They went to overtime tied at 38, and that... Because Game 1 of the World Series was a carbon copy with the Twins stopping the Braves 5-2 to grab a 1-game lead in the series. 55,000 hanky waivers under the Teflon roof, and they had lots to cheer about. For starters, rookie Chuck Knobloch's 3rd inning single through the right side, scoring Dan Gladden. However, Knobloch goofs up by getting caught in a rundown to end the inning, 1-0 Twins. Bottom of the 5th now, and here's some serious damage. 2 on for Greg Gagne, and he quickly parks a Charlie Leibrandt fastball into the left field seats, and the Twins were in control 4-0. Could have been far more serious than that as the Twins loaded the bases after that, but Dan Gladden, well, you watch what happens here. The single goes to left field, or the fly ball at least, but Dan Gladden will be cut down at the plate right there to hold the score. But in the 6th, they do get another one as the one silent, Kent Herbeck, parks one upstairs off Jim Clancy, 440 feet away. The Twins beat the Braves 5-2 in Game 1 of the World Series. And so the Braves will now send 20-game winner Tom Glavine to the mound tonight in Game 2, as the Braves must win at least 1 game in Minnesota if they're to win the series. That'll be on CFTO at 8 p.m. The Twins will counter with Kevin Tapani. A different owner, a new president and GM, a revamped coaching staff, but some things never change. Despite the efforts of Cliff Fletcher and Grant Fuhr, the Leafs are off to an 2-6 start. Last night they were just awful in Winnipeg. Fuhr hurt his hand before they dropped the puck, so Jeff Reese got the unexpected start against the Jets. You can't really blame Reese. The Jets test him early. Frederick Olsen with 2 great chances, but Reese turns him away. Then the Leafs get the power play working. Daryl Shannon with a blast, and Glenn Anderson tips it past Stefan Beauregard for his first goal as a Leaf. 1-0 Toronto. But 5 minutes later, Jets with the extra man, Teppo Numminen to Phil Housley to Russ Romanuk. He picks the corner, 1-1. Second period now, Ed Olchuk to Danton Cole. He drills it past Reese from a bad angle to make it 2-1 Jets, and there was more. Olchuk back to Dean Kennedy at the point. Kennedy tees it up, and boom, 3-1. The Jets won it 4-2. The Leafs have lost 5 straight, heading into Vancouver for a tilt with a much improved Canucks tomorrow night. Well, it's not often we talk about rugby on this show, but Canada's fine performance in the World Cup in France has made us all take notice, but they were in tough today in their quarterfinal match. They had to play the defending champions from New Zealand. And you'll never see this before a hockey game. The New Zealand All Blacks with their pre-game Maori dance, psyching out the Canadians perhaps. At any rate, the gallant effort thus far by Canada fizzled in the early going as the New Zealanders seem to thrive in terribly wet conditions. 9 minutes in, this is Craig Innes to John Timu. He'll fall in the slot, but gets up and scores the try. And then a couple of minutes later, Bernie McCahill will take the pass from the back of a scrum for another try. Canada came back late, but New Zealand advances to a semifinal date with Australia after beating Canada 29-13. The IndyCars pulled into Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey, California today for the final stop of the 1991 kart calendar.
Bring on Lou Pasaglia, Bob Obilovich.
Yeah, they don't have to call a timeout or anything. They could just, I mean, the game will not end if the time runs out, so they will get 1 play left, and Lou Pasaglia can win it all, and they can square their record at 3-3 in overtime games this year. Edmondson might call a timeout, though, just to try and ice Louis again. Yeah, there we go.
Can they block it?
Well, I guess they didn't call a timeout. They're letting the play go. Now they're going to call it in. See, what Ron Lancaster wants to do here is get a prevent kind of defense in there. They're not going to try and block it, but what they want to do is get people back in the end zone. Glenn Harper's back there. Dean Dorsey is back there. And if for some reason Luke Pasaglia should miss, and it doesn't go through the end zone, he wants people back there that can kick it back out.
Kick it back out and preserve the tie. 1 point is better than none.
Well, we saw that in Winnipeg this year when Trevor Kennard had a chance to win the game on the last play. He missed, and Lupus Agli actually kicked it out, put the game into overtime. They eventually won it.
That's one of the overtime games that the Lions did win.
That's right.
They have won 2 of 5. This is the BC Lions' 6th overtime encounter in 1991. It is a pretty amazing story. And when this ends, it'll be the Lions' 17th game of the season and the Edmonton Eskimos' 60s. Lou Pasaglia for the win. 24 yards out, Pasaglia.
He did that on purpose.
Kicked it wide, but it goes for a single point. That's all they need.
He did it on purpose. He had no intention of kicking it to the uprights. He just kicked it out of bounds, get the single point, and win the game.
1 point for the win. Lou Pasaglia has it for the BC Lions.
Little different twist there.
Yeah.
But
well, we've seen some different things here this afternoon. It is a 39-38 final, and the Lions square their overtime record even. Louis has never celebrated a single point quite like that before.
No, you know, that'll go as a missed field goal on his record for the season.
Yeah, and it'll kick the heck out of his percentage.
Yeah,
but he has the win.
Yes, he does. And we have a 3-way tie in the Western Conference.
Absolutely incredible. 2 weeks to go. And looking ahead, the BC Lions have games at Saskatchewan next week and home to the Hamilton Tiger Cats in Week 18. The Edmonton Eskimos may have a slightly tougher schedule, which includes the Calgary Stampeders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A 1-point win, the Lions in overtime, 39-38.
Hi, I'm Frank Buckley, and this is Buckley's Mixture. If you've never tried it before, you're going to be very surprised. Twice. You'll be surprised at how quickly and effectively Buckley's relieves the nastiest coughs due to colds, bronchitis, and even smoker's cough. But just before you're surprised at how effective it is, you're going to be very surprised at how it tastes. Buckley's Mixture. It tastes awful, and it works.
I just love this new Diet Pepsi song, but do you think it's caught on yet?
You got the right one, baby. You got the right one, baby. Diet Pepsi.
You got the right one, baby.
Think you could sing our song? Send your videotape performance and you could win $10,000 and appear in a Diet Pepsi commercial.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you this afternoon by Sony Handycam. Well, not much doubt about this one. 1 second left on the clock. The Lions lining up for the win when Lou Pasaglia aims for the corner and gets the single point. The result is a 39-38 BC Lions victory over the Edmonton Eskimos in overtime. A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of Canadian coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and the Sony Handicap. Memories are made with this. Once again, the final score from Commonwealth Stadium. The BC Lions cause a 3-way tie for top spot in the West with a 39-38 win over the Edmonton Eskimos. Back with more on the TSN Game of the Week in just a moment.
Around 1900, a company built America's first gasoline-powered truck. And while other companies built cars, the little company stayed true to trucks. Trucks, some say, worked a little harder, lasted a little longer. And that's still true today. In a truck that gives you the largest standard V6 and the highest retained value of any full-size pickup. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Armchair quarterbacks, stand by. We've got your Sunday's NFL game plan with NFL Game Day. Join Chris Berman and the Game Day team for a comprehensive preview on the day's matchups. NFL Game Day at 12 Eastern. Then, when the day is done, join us for highlights and reactions from every game played on NFL Prime Time at 7 Eastern. NFL Game Day at Prime Time. Sundays on Real TV, TSN.
The CFL Game of the Week on TSN has been brought to you by GMC Trucks, the trucks more people lean on. And by Diet 7-Up. It's cool to be clear. And it is tight in the Western Division of the Canadian Football League. Now a three-way tie for top spot. And what a difference overtime can make. The BC Lions go to the extra frame for the 6th time this year, and even their record at 3-3. They avenge an overtime loss to the Edmonton Eskimos last week. The BC Lions could just as easily be in first place if they'd won a few more of those overtime games. But then again, on the other side, they could find themselves fighting for a playoff spot. Pavel Belovich will take it, though. His team is 10-6 and tied for top spot now in the West. Our next game comes your way next week from Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. It's the Ticats against the Argos. It starts at 1:30 Eastern Time. Once again, our final score, the BC Lions 39, the Edmonton Eskimos 38. For John Wells and Lee Pedersen and all of us at TSN, good night from Commonwealth Stadium.
You're watching TSN, the sports network.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our studios in Toronto. I'm Michael Landsberg. Quick look at sports before we get to prime time. We begin with one of the great-looking confrontations in Canadian horse racing in years. At the Rothmans International today at Woodbine, the meeting was between Izvestia and Sky Classic, two of the great Canadian colts in history. This had the makings of all-time race. Unfortunately, as we learn quite often in this sport, as big and strong as those horses are, they are still fragile creatures. Nancy Zinos reports.
The Canadian horses were grabbing most of the headlines at this year's Rothmans. A healthy Sky Classic was